Hello, AJ. How are you doing, mate?
Franklin, what's your favourite football film?
My favourite football film, Escape to Victory.
Escape to Victory with Sly Stallone and Pele.
Yeah.
Oh, it's belting. It's a good classic.
I mean, there was a better lineup than Sly Stallone. It wasn't all about. I can't remember Sly Stallone being in it, was he?
Yeah, Hatch the trainer.
Is that the original one?
With Pele and Bobby Moore. And...
Oh yeah, the original one then, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's the American prisoner of war that ends up becoming the goalkeeper.
Yeah. I did like the. I think it was called The Damned as well. That was the Brian Clough.
The Damned United.
Damned United, yeah.
With Michael Sheen, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant actor.
Yeah, very much so.
So really enjoyed that one. What's yours?
So from a kind of...
So you posed the question, but you've not thought about the answer.
Do you know what? Yes. Sort of.
There's still too much hair on your head, that's why.
I know.
The weight of your hair.
I think the weight of my hair as well. You should have seen me running through Standish. I looked like a blooming pigeon. It was just flapping from side to side. It was awful. People tell you the curtains are coming back. They don't tell you how utterly unversatile they are.
Just for context, AJ has got I've just forgotten his name now.
Leo DiCaprio?
Leo DiCaprio, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not Leonardo DiCaprio, is it?
Do with the curtain, Jack Grealish?
And Jack Grealish, yeah. He's got a cross between that and the other lad we just mentioned.
Leo DiCaprio
So
and Jack Grealish.
It's flopping all over the place.
Floppy curtains, yeah. My favourite football, I was thinking the sort of the Damned United as well, to be honest. It's probably a bit of a darker tone, really, but Green Street Hooligans I really like. And it's about...
Green Street Hooligans?
Yeah,
I think I watched that.
Yeah, it's set in London.
It's quite grim, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it's about the firms. Yeah, the firms between the
Was
teams.
Danny Dyer in that, or did he just comment? That was just a documentary?
No, that was The Football Factory.
The Football Factory.
Yeah, he was in that. I mean, they're much the same cast, to be honest. Anyone who's an actor, and from London, is probably in both.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I'm just
that's
trying
my
to think if there's any other films.
So the Damned, When Saturday Comes, you're based in Sheffield.
I don't know whether you'd call it a football film, but I seem to remember Porridge. It must be the same thing. It must be Escape from Victory. It must be the same one.
Yeah.
We just have this thing in my mind that Porridge had a football match. I'm sure they had a football match where they tried to disguise a escape at the same time.
Well, yeah, they're both set in prisons, aren't they? Porridge and Escape to Victory. So it would make sense.
I mean, they do repeat themselves, don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. Football teams often do.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's another one that's just come out in. I think it gets released on the BBC this week about Gareth Southgate and the World Cup run that England went on.
Is this a drama or a documentary?
It's a drama.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So obviously, when Gareth Southgate took over, it was just after the whole debacle with Sam Allardyce, and his taking bungs that ended him walking away. Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to get sued.
No, we don't want a letter from him.
Just get him on the show to explain himself. That's what normally happens in this case, doesn't it?
Yeah, just get people on the show. Explain yourself.
Yeah, we give poor advice out and or what we deem to be factual, and they end up telling us it's wrong, and we want to come on the show to put it right.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
we call it a Dempsey moment.
We do. It's a drama all of its own. But I can't remember what the name of it is called, but it's on the BBC.
What was the other one with Ricky Tomlinson in?
Oh, Mike Bassett.
Now, that was a good one, wasn't it?
That was really funny.
Yeah. They all start coming out when you think about it,
They do, yeah, now that you've mentioned it, yeah. They're all coming. Mean Machine with Jason Statham in it and Clive Owen. Yeah, that was... and Vinnie Jones playing a lunatic in football.
I suppose, really, you don't get a great deal of football films, do you, really, when you think about it?
It's actually quite low in volume, and particularly for an industry that, inspires so many and draws so many. You'd think that there'd be more, based around. Oh, actually, United with David Tennant about the Munich Air.
Oh, right.
Crash. Yeah. And
a bit more sort of down the factual route, but
very down the factual route.
Very poignant reminder of all those people that were lost.
And
the rebuild after it, really.
And the rebuild after it, and David Tennant plays Matt Busby's assistant, Jimmy Murphy, and how he tries to rebuild the team in the immediate aftermath, and obviously it culminates in United getting to the FA Cup final in 58 against Bolton. It's absolutely amazing story.
It was an amazing film, wasn't it? In the similar line, are we talking about football films, maybe football dramas? How about Footballers' Wives? But you know what? That was at the beginning of the WAG sort of era, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't
it?
And
I'd love to know what the up-to-date version of that would be now, because I mean, they're far more waggish now than they ever were before.
I think so. Yeah. With the obsession around social media and how that mixes in with a WAG's portrayal, and there's obviously more documentaries that are coming out. The whole the Wagatha Christie drama with Colleen Rooney and Rebecca.
Yet, is it?
That's been out a bit, but that was about Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy, and Rebecca Vardy selling stories to the press allegedly. Was that actually found out to be true? I can't remember. Yeah. But anyway, that.
What made you ask the question? Anyway, that's what I'd like to know.
Because, and this is we do cold opens about what we've been up to during the week. I want to start doing cold opens when we just start asking weird stuff that just draws in the. I know it's a bit of an odd angle, but I just like that whole. What is AJ going to ask this week?
Related, of course.
This one is,
isn't it? So normally we talk about daft things like box sets and
what we've been up to in the week.
What we've been up to. Well, listen, talking about box sets, I don't know whether you originally watched the original series of 24
with Kiefer Sutherland.
There's a new series out now. It's called 24 The Legacy.
Okay.
24 Legacy.
Cool.
And it's a new cast of characters in it.
Okay.
And I'm halfway through watching that right now, and it's equally as good as I didn't expect it to be. To be fair, going back years ago, Rowena bought me the full box set of CDs or DVDs.
I'm going to say.
DVDs of 24. And the first one I watched, I didn't watch the film. So originally there was a pilot show, which was a film. I watched the very first episode, and it was all done in the dark. So it was a nighttime sort of episode.
Okay.
And I was either in the wrong mood or whatever it was, and it didn't touch it for years afterwards.
Right.
Obviously, Rowena was a little bit annoyed, like an expensive Christmas present.
Yes, box sets were back then.
Yeah, so I decided to watch the pilot film, and I watched the pilot film. It was fabulous. So
okay.
I was absolutely hooked. Started watching it from scratch.
Okay.
Realised what it was all about. It was 24 hours. It was a day in the life.
Per season, yeah.
And it was. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it, and like I said, the second series as well. Well, say second series, not second series, but the new episodes that are out now.
Yeah.
I think believed to be the final ever series that they'll ever show.
Which is fair. It's run a hell of a course. I mean, it's starting about 2003, didn't it? 2002.
It was a long time ago, but excellent series, well worth watching if you're into that kind of thing. I strongly recommend you start from the very, very beginning with Kiefer Sutherland and go right the way through. But watch the film pilot copy first.
Okay.
Yeah, I recommend you do that. Or make sure that you're in a really good mood when you watch the first episode.
Oh, God.
Otherwise, you just... I'm one of those, you say, I struggle to watch anything on TV that's in the dark. I don't know whether you're the same.
As in, you're sitting in the dark, or you're watching something?
Watching something that's in the nighttime setting. I really, really find it difficult.
Do you? Why? Yeah. Can you not concentrate, or are you scared of the dark, or are you blind?
I don't think I'm scared of the dark. I just think it's a seasonal, not a seasonal, but similar to a seasonal disorder where I get more depressed of a night time. I could sleep better in the day than I could sleep in the night.
God,
can't sleep in the night.
You are a bit of a vampire, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I've not bitten anyone yet, like, I promise.
How's your
I'm working on it, like, but...
I don't know, how's your garlic taste?
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been watching that anyway, for what it's worth.
Fair play.
Have you been watching anything?
I watched the first episode of something this morning. It was called This Is Going to Hurt. And
that sounds as though it's going to hurt.
Well, it's about a doctor, as I'm sure you'd imagine. And he's quite a grumpy sort, if you like.
Yeah. So he wants you to know that you're going to receive some pain.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I mean, I think within the first 15 minutes he accuses a patient of being racist.
Right.
So that might tell you a bit of an indication about what you need to know. And he's working with a team of other colleagues who he finds utterly incompetent and not much use. He's struggling to kind of keep his life together.
He sounds like the sort of common day Alf Garnett.
Who?
Alf Garnett, you won't remember that, will you?
No.
I can't remember. Well, he was the racist, grumpy old man, wasn't he, of the sort of 70s, 80s, early 80s?
God, was he?
Yeah, I forget what it was called.
Was it a character?
Yeah, it was a character, yeah.
Say God. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, listen, anyway, I suppose we'd really better get on with the show.
Otherwise we'll natter for days. Go on.
Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. I'm Frank Hughes, the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and alongside me is my co-host and passionate press officer, AJ the Jet. Not that being involved with the football club is a prerequisite for hosting a football podcast, but it certainly helps. We are ready to dive headfirst into the vibrant world of non-league football in the Northwest, and we might even take a moment to discuss some of the bigger headlines in the sport. We'll explore life in the Northwest counties, bring you interviews with well-known faces in the league, and analyse how local teams are performing while making bold predictions for their upcoming matches. Nothing is off the limits here. We'll be diving into all kinds of topics, including complicated refereeing decisions and regulations that often leave fans perplexed. We want to hear from you too. This is your show, so don't hesitate to reach out with topics you want us to tackle. Let's get this conversation started and enjoy every single moment. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Speaking Frankly Football Show. This is season 2. In season 2 we managed to get through 28 episodes. So with the second series and into the 22nd episode, that means we are on our 50th episode.
No, is this our 50th?
Yes, let's pop the champagne corks. Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it?
Outstanding. Look at
shows,
that. Yeah. 50 episodes and you guys haven't kicked us off the airwaves yet.
No.
Absolutely amazing.
I think we did say at the very beginning, didn't we, that they reckon by the time you get to your 50th show, you're well sort of gelled and healed, and it's I forget the.
Well, I mean, there's only two of us, so if we can't gel, then
yeah, but you know, you've sort of got to that stage where you're what's the word for it? Established, yeah. We're a now established podcast.
We've not won any awards yet, though.
No, but listen, not that we seek any awards either, because listen, some of these shows, they glitter and shine a little bit more on the outside, but on the inside, there's an awful lot of hard work goes into this, as we know.
Yeah,
of
course.
We don't just pull this together with good luck and charm, do we?
No, we are. We're not famed broadcasters like Terry Wogan or.
I'm just thinking of more sort of prime time, sort of, or a more established podcast. Like I Had Trials once, fabulous show, as I say. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them around. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the time to watch or listen to most of them. But
that's fair.
What we've not done is we've not gone down that route of being a visual creation yet. And when we keep talking about it, eventually
this is true.
We will get round to doing it.
Yeah.
But for now, it suits. It suits us really, because listen, imagine it's much harder work to put a visual podcast together than it is to do what we're just doing right now, and that's that's difficult enough. And listen, 100%. Just to let you know that AJ's preparing for Saturday because he's wearing the away shirt of Skelmersdale United Football Club.
Yes, I am.
Albeit last season's.
Well, I haven't got a new version.
No, but listen. Good point to
segue.
Emphasize, isn't it? Yes,
have a segue.
Yeah, because the official online shop now is open, so you can get on there. It's Maluka Sports. The password is SKEM, all in capital letters, 2025. So if you want to get on there and you want to pick any replica shirts or any
training gear,
anything like that, coats,
anything with the SKEM logo,
anything with the SKEM logo on. And listen, if you buy a replica
polo shirt,
you will also see the Speaking Frankly advert on one of the sleeves.
Yes, the very same logoing, which I'm just holding up a tea coaster. Yeah. Tea coaster with the Speaking Frankly logo emblazoned on it in its orange.
Yeah. He's holding it up like we are actually.
Like we can see it. You can't see it.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, we said we were going to get on with the show.
We did, yeah. We just keep faffing at the minute, honestly. Yeah. So, first things first, Franklin, how did you get on in our fixtures and predictions from last week?
Well, without sort of really revealing too much information, because obviously we had a very decimated fixture list. So
did.
I'm really embarrassed, because out of all of those games that were played, I managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9.
Did you get 9?
No, but I've only marked a couple of them, and I've got 3 correct. And I still have the other sort of 40 odd results to go. So
Hang on a minute. You just asked me how it went. You're either lying or you.
No. Here's my paper. You can see there's 3 ticks on there, 2 crosses. That's all I've managed to get through.
So it's 9-3.
Well, yes, it's 9-3 for now.
For now, yeah. You'll have to check through the show. So
I will. Yes, I'll be doing my homework as we run through the top end of the news, and then I'll get back to you once all the ticks and crosses are in place. So today we will leap into the North West Counties roundup as we do. It will only take a few minutes because of the weather. Thank you to the latest storm. I can't remember what the storm was called. It's got another name. Steve, sure. We'll just call it Steve. The FA Vase as well. There's a good few results coming out of that, as well as the 4th round draw. The FA Cup and the FA Trophy also in full flight. Controversial corner. Typical visit towards all of our favourite clubs, including Clitheroe, Southport and Marine. Then in part 2, we have Liam Kelly. Liam Kelly is the manager of Eccleshall Football Club, as well as a marathon runner. So we'll be grilling him a little bit on that. And then in the final part of the show, we will do our usual Skelmersdale United analysis, as well as fixtures and predictions for the week ahead. So, Franklin, what's new?
Well, before I go into the North West Counties news, I'd just like to say that we did approach Ref Support UK to come on the show. I've messaged him privately, and I've also messaged him online, and as at this point he's not forthcoming. So yeah, I didn't expect him to come on the show, to be fair. But that's his prerogative. But we don't know who he is. We just know he's got a moniker, and it's the Ref Support UK that he's hiding behind. But listen, nice. If he wants to come on the show, he's still more than welcome. So listen, we'll move on to the North West Counties. First of all, I'd just like to wish the Pilkington goalkeeper Luke Forsyth a speedy recovery following a collision on Saturday in the game against Exton Villa. Villa were leading 2-0 when the game was abandoned just before half-time. Player safety is of paramount importance. So well done to both physios who tested him until the ambulance arrived, and a speedy recovery we're most hoping for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never nice when we have to report on major injuries like this, particularly ones that then result in the in such a severe injury that the game has to be called off. But
do we actually know what the injury was? I imagine he was knocked out.
It was either a major head injury or it was a broken leg. I can't for the life of me.
I've heard no update.
No, not really. I was looking on the Pilks website, and nothing's been reported. So, from what I can gather, it was either a head injury or it was a broken leg. Either which way, all the best to Luke and a very speedy recovery.
Yeah, and football pales into insignificance when things like that happen. So,
very much.
Best of luck to Luke and, of course, to Pilkington.
Yes.
North West Counties Premier Division. It was, like we've said at the top of the show, it was a decimated fixture list due to the bad weather and Storm Steve, as AJ's alluded to. We don't know which one it was, but does it matter? So with Padiham losing 4-1 to Cheadle Town, Wythenshawe managed a 2-1 win over City of Liverpool and a 5-1 victory over AFC Liverpool on Wednesday night. Now, I've been looking at the latest league tables, and I don't think they've been updated by the North West Counties, so I'm just assuming I'm correct in saying that Wythenshawe are now the new leaders of the Premier Division.
This is absolutely correct. They are, as last we checked, it's still current, and Wythenshawe have usurped Padiham at the top of the table by virtue of, I think it's 2 points, with Ramsbottom in third and West Didsbury and Chorlton down in fourth.
They're definitely the form team at this moment in time, Wythenshawe. We didn't really give them an awful lot of... I don't know in terms of predictions whether either of us even predicted they'd be in the playoffs at the beginning of the season.
I think when we made this prediction, I think they'd been about 3 games, and I think Wythenshawe had lost 2 of them, and their run of form has been kind of under the radar as we kind of blew the trumpets on Padiham, Rammy and West Didsbury, and it's strange because Wythenshawe, you would expect them to kind of be fighting for that top end of the table as well, given that they were relegated from the Northern Prem last season. So they've actually kind of come out of nowhere, seem to be on a really good run of form, definitely the form team, and are sitting pretty at the top.
Yeah,
quite staggering, really.
Which is good news for the North West Counties, because we've said it's an extremely competitive division. Now, if you like to sort of look back, I mean, Ramsbottom come back out of the Northern Premier League, didn't they? And then started competing in the North West Counties as well. So teams can drop, and not just continue dropping. They can, they can be ambitious.
That's true.
And competitive. So, best of luck to Wythenshawe. I spoke to Richard Brodie, obviously
City Liverpool boss.
Yeah, I mean, after the 7-0 loss to, remind me who it was the week before.
Was it Wythenshawe? No, it wasn't. Because they just edged them out, didn't they? It was...
Was it Barnoldswick?
It maybe.
I think it was Barnoldswick, wasn't it?
It was Barnoldswick,
yeah. So they managed to reduce the floodgates, or sort of close the floodgates a little bit, and managed to come close. And according to Richard, it was a very, very good performance by them. So a lot of hope for the future there.
It doesn't get easier for them, though. Their next 2 games are against Padiham and Chadderton.
Yeah, I think the next 4 games are at home as well. That might give them a slight advantage, you don't know. But by all accounts, Richard had done his homework on Wythenshawe, and he relayed that to the players, and they took it on board. And I believe they hit the crossbar. They could have, it could have been a 2-2 at the end of the day. So it's a vast improvement on his first game.
Most certainly.
And listen, we weren't expecting an awful lot from him in the next few days, next few weeks, next few games, really.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough gig. But it seems as though Richard has managed to scrape a team together that might be able to be competitive enough to stay up.
I mean, we like Richard, so that's kind of a hope, isn't it?
Yeah.
That he that he enjoys a bit of prosperity and a bit of success with his club. City and Liverpool is a monumental task for any number of logistical reasons, really. But I think
rumours are rife that they're going to go out of business at some stage.
Well, we're not there yet, are we? There's nothing that's come out of the actual club itself about the direness of their financial situations, although we do have a story on that one which we'll bring you a bit later on. I suppose it speaks a lot of volumes for the impact that Richard has made, that the Wythenshawe, they actually played 2 games prior to that 2-1 defeat to them and conceded 11. So the fact that they only conceded 2 and were probably unfortunate not to come away with something says a lot about how impactful he has been in the handful of days that he's been in charge. So fair play to him, and I hope he makes as much of a success out of it as possible.
Yeah, me too. Atherton LR returned to winning ways at the weekend with a 2-0 victory over Barnsley Town.
Yep.
I guess there was a huge sigh of relief there, particularly with Dave Jones, with just 1 point out of their last 3 games. It's been a little bit topsy-turvy, isn't it? I mean, they had that spell where they lost 5 games on the bounce, so they managed to stem the defeat situation.
They have.
A little bit earlier this time round.
They have, and I think we probably knew that the drought wasn't really going to last forever. I didn't think it would come against Barnsley. They're a strong team. That's not to say Atherton aren't, but Barnsley were really kind of in their element in the last few games. But goals from Lance Horton and Joe Bacon keeping the 3 points at Crilly Park there. Good crowd as well. 205 turned out on Saturday in not particularly fantastic conditions. And saw them retain their place in the top 10. So
the weather seems to be far worse, didn't it, further afield from Liverpool? Because we had patchy bits of rain, didn't we? But nothing.
Little bits of rain. I think it turned really quite nasty after the game had finished.
We kicked off early, didn't we?
But we kicked off at 1, so we kind of missed. Really. We'd missed a lot of it, coming into the game. So from that perspective, I think we were quite lucky, all told.
So moving on to Bearscough, they didn't play at all over the last week, but they'd be keen to get back to domestic duties following 2 defeats in the FA Vase and Liverpool Senior Cup. They left both competitions via the penalty shootouts, but by all accounts, valiant efforts by the team. Yeah,
I don't think there's any particular shame in losing to Marine as they did in the Liverpool Senior Cup, and it was an excellent game by all accounts as well. It was a 3-3 draw at the Marine Travel Arena. That culminated in Marine prevailing via penalties. Pretty similarly as well, going away to Chadderton, never a particularly nice place, managed to completely stifle out the widely known attacking exploits of Chadderton, particularly Lewis Byrne, who didn't get on the score sheet at all through that game, but nonetheless Chadderton prevailing on penalties. I think Dempsey he'll be disappointed. I think he wanted a bit of a better run in both competitions, but now that those competitions are out the way, there's no excuse for the focus not to be on the playoffs now. And although they are sitting in 8th place and about 8 points out of the playoffs, I think that they've got enough capabilities within that squad to kind of mount a bit of a push.
I think definitely there's probably 5 out of those the top 10 teams that could compete in the definitely in the playoffs.
I think so. Yeah. So
it's who's going to put on a really good run. If you can get a few good results now, and certainly over the festive period, it sets you up really, really well for the new year.
It really does.
And then you can push ahead and put in a really, really good run.
Yeah.
And we've seen that last year with Lower Breck and Bury. They peaked at the right time, didn't they?
They certainly did.
Particularly Bury, obviously, because they won the league in the end.
They absolutely did, yeah. So City of Liverpool losing to Wythenshawe. Abbey Hay could have drawn them in the relegation zone, but went to AFC Liverpool, who completed a 3-1 victory over the Manchester-based side to keep Abbey Hay firmly in that relegation dogfight, but sending AFC Liverpool up to 19th and 8 clear of the relegation.
Just looking at the league table there now, Abbey Hay, how many points behind City of Liverpool are they?
1
point. Is there any games?
No games in hand. No. Abbey Hay's goal difference is much healthier, though. Much healthier. Well, City.
A few heavy defeats that will have.
Yeah, City of Liverpool have conceded 81 goals in 23 games. That's just over 2 a game. Well, yeah, nearly. No, God, am I mad? No, that's nearly 4 a game, isn't it? Give or take, it's just under 4 a game.
Certainly 3. What are we looking at? How many? 23 games?
23 games, 81 goals.
Yeah, it's close to 4 times the.
That's insane.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. Crikey, yeah. That's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, you look at our first season back in the Northwest Counties Premier Division, I don't think we'd conceded that many at that stage.
It was 2 seasons ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No. But I mean, that was never on the cards, was it? We weren't getting absolutely slapped every single game because we had a good squad back then.
Yeah, well, we got a few hide-ins. At home 6-0 comes to mind.
It's just mean.
There was a few, yeah. But hey, so listen, no change at the bottom of the table.
No. It's getting a little bit tighter and a little bit tastier down there.
We just need some fixtures getting played now, don't we? Because
we need some
the last few weeks, or the last certain 2.5 weeks, the fixture list has been really decimated by poor weather, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
It needs to stop raining.
It's slightly odd because we looked at the fixture congestion last season and we made quite a big deal out of how many games that we were being forced to play in light of terrible weather. Now it's kind of come to pass that the fixture congestion sort of eased a little bit. But the weather is completely killing off further opportunities to actually play games.
It certainly is at the sort of Premier Division level, isn't it? Because they've got a lot more games to play, and of course they were involved in FA Cup as well as the FA Vase. Yeah. So far more, one more competition to play in as well, albeit they're all out of the FA Cup now.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, we'll move on to Division 1 North. So leaders Ashton Town could only manage a draw at the weekend. They were ahead in the game via Michael Howard goal. I believe Michael Howard used to play for Skem.
Mikey Howard was a massive player for Skem in 2022 in that wonderful Northwest Counties Prem season that we had that culminated in getting promoted.
Indeed. So in the end, Thornton Cleveland's restored parity in the 94th minute.
From the penalty spot.
Yeah, to stop them from increasing the lead at the top of the table.
And that was an excellent result for my predictions because I called a draw there.
Did you?
I did, yes.
So you called which draw?
Thornton Cleveland's Ashton Town.
Thornton Cleveland's.
Excellent.
Did you? Right, you
did. I did, yeah.
I went for Ashton Town, and up until the 94th minute I was okay.
I know.
But that's not honest.
How frustrating for you.
Is. But listen, Nelson had the opportunity to reduce the deficit to just 3 points on Wednesday night, but they were held to a 1-1 draw at when MSB Woolton equalised also in the 94th minute.
Yeah,
couldn't write it, could you?
No, it wasn't.
I did.
That was from a penalty. One. So Ethan Danku scoring from 12 yards in the 94th minute of the game after Andrew Proctor had put Nelson ahead. And oddly enough, that is the first time that Nelson have dropped points under Aaron Ripley's charge.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, domestically.
I thought they did the week before or the couple of weeks before.
No, oh God, they were playing McGull, weren't they? So yeah, they did draw then. Sorry, never mind that.
They're close, but no cigar.
Close, but no cigar. Nonetheless, it still adds another notch to the Nelson points board. Although it leaves them 5th in the table, they have 4 games in hand on Drorsden and 6 games in hand on Ashton, McGull and Darwin, all of whom are sitting above them. So
but if it carries on like that and the weather stays inclement beyond the new year,
they're going
to be playing at some stage
2 games.
They're going to be playing 3 games. They're going to be playing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays if they're not
It's
careful.
an insane demand.
So they've got to start reining them in and taking the points.
They do, yeah. They also have to start playing the games, which is not easy when I think Little Wembley that's been having floodlight issues recently. They have just about started to get back to some consistency at home. Oddly enough, though, Nelson's biggest damage at this point is their goal difference, where they've conceded 14 and scored 15. So a goal difference of +1, where other teams have got +9, +6, +11. Oddly enough, Ashton Town have got +3. It's almost like nobody wants to win the Division One North title.
No, well, they haven't got decent enough goal scorers.
Well, the decent enough goal scorers wouldn't have thought to be a problem for McGull, who boasted two of the league's top scorers last season in Darren Brannigan and Jacob Till. Both of them drew a blank as Squires Gate prevailed 2-1 over the former league leaders. Ivan Nielsen de Silva in the 78th minute and a Dean Ing penalty in the 81st, ensuring the points stayed on the filed coast and ensured McGull went back down the M55 with nothing at all, despite Will Hoey opening the scoring just shy of the 70-minute mark.
And just 2 points in their last 3 games.
Just 2 points in their last 3 games.
Two previous draws before that loss. A lot of teams sort of showing good form and then dropping form quickly, just as quick.
Yes, they are. There's not a lot of consistency within the teams and tables here.
But I think if you look at
nobody
the table,
wants to win it.
No, but if you look at the table directly, I think the difference between top and bottom, there's not a great deal of difference point-wise, is there? Certainly you go right down to 12th position.
Yeah.
And listen, this has not been updated, but I think we're going off last week's. There's 20 points. Daisy Hill were on 20 points, and Ashton Town on 27 at the top.
Insane.
So there's not a huge gulf in difference term.
No.
Certainly in points, but there's very few games, as we know, in that division. So it'll be interesting to see what position teams are in at the turn of the new year.
Yeah.
So listen, at the bottom of the table, Ashton Athletic were the only team to play in the bottom 3, and they were the only ones to secure any points. So a Luke Crompton equaliser gave them a 2-2 draw against promotion chasing Darwin. That is probably the result of the week.
I think it absolutely is the result of the week. Ashton were in dire need of something. And we know that they've got a good squad on paper. They've got players like Joe Barlow, Deck Hill, Josh Nicholson,
who was on the score sheet.
Who was on the score sheet, indeed. Yeah, opening Ashton's account with 15 minutes to go, and then Luke Crompton's equaliser in the 90th minute, cancelling out a Nick Heppel double for the East Lancashire side, and it's a result that boosts Ashton Athletics' chances for getting off the bottom of the table. In fact, it does lift them off the bottom only by goal difference, to be replaced by Garstang, who I don't believe played at the weekend. No, they did. Sorry. Garstang, who lost 3-1 to MSB Woolton.
Yeah, so listen, there's no change at the bottom.
No.
Other than that one team replacing the other. So listen, we'll move on to Division One South. In the last week, only 3 games survived the weather. That's how bad it's been. Telford Town narrowly beat Wolverhampton Casuals 3-2 at home. That meant they pushed themselves back into the playoff places. Stafford beat Shawbury 5-0 to consolidate their position in the top 5. Michael Hersey scoring a hat-trick. So no sort of great shocks there, but not a great deal of games to shock us with.
No, not particularly. So yeah, Matt Hersey scoring a hat-trick for Stafford to keep them firmly within that playoff dogfight there, as we thought that they might be. Still got a bit of work to do on the chasing pack. They are up to 3rd, but Eccleshall and Runcorn Town still ahead by a steady 5-point gap at least. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, Wolverhampton Casuals in 15th place, just about consolidated ahead of Alsager, Shawbury, Hormond, and then Wolverhampton Sporting Community adrift at the bottom of the Division One South table.
But we will be speaking to the manager of Eccleshall in the second part of the show. Liam Kelly will be joining us to discuss his fortunes at the club now that's risen to the lofty heights of second place.
Carnage.
It's looking really good for him. So we'll be speaking to him in the second part of the show. Really looking forward to that.
Yes.
The FA Vase, shock result was Nelson's 3-0 win over Ramsbottom at the Riverside Stadium. Division between both teams. Yet it kind of makes a statement about the strength of Nelson, and should they go on to get promoted, you'd have to say based on that result, they'll look like they'll be up there with the best. Should they manage to do that? It's a bit of a shock for you.
Yes and no. If you're,
we went for Ramsbottom, obviously, just purely based on the fact that they're a division above and
right at the top,
and they're very competitive as well. But that seems to count for nothing.
Yeah, in cup competitions, it really can. We could go through the FA Cup archives and dig out any number of absolute shock results. So on a day, any team can beat any team within any step at the pyramid, and I think it probably illustrates Nelson's strength at this current time that they were able to do that. So it was a bit of a shock, but probably shouldn't come as a massive shock in itself. But
there was a major sort of outrage by the fact that the game was continued in such really torrential downpours. The pitch, we've seen pictures of the pitch at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a mud bath.
Yes, it was.
It was described as a bit of an ice rink by some of the Rams, particularly the Ramsbottom socials. I think both teams are played in the same conditions, and you can't really argue about that. You wouldn't want to. But in terms of player safety, is it worth carrying on playing those games? I mean, listen, let's be honest about it. Back in my era, way before you were even a thought in your dad's eye, we were playing in far more horrendous conditions than you've ever seen in this day and age. It's unbelievable now. I can't say namby-pamby, but we seem to call games off far too easily these days.
Do you reckon it's just a notion of player safety?
But player safety existed back then, but we never seen really. I mean, let's be honest about it. The players back in them days were half as healthy. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe because they're more fit and healthy now, they're more prone to get more serious injuries. I don't know, but back in the day, they were big, busting lads that were, they went in for tackles hard and fast. Oh
yeah, I'm not doubting that, but the game was
sliding in mud was a competition in itself.
Of course it was. I liked that at Sunday League level, but the game was much slower back then, wasn't it? You didn't have kind of full-on counter-attacks and players sprinting 100 metres in about 11 seconds just to...
Did you see the photographs?
I did.
What did you make of it? I mean, it could have looked worse. I mean, I think they looked at one corner of the ground, didn't they? Where I think the water always sort of congregates there. Ramsbottom is right beside a river, as we know.
Riverside, yeah.
And it's been underwater several times over the years. I don't know whether they've solved that problem now.
Don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
But it was getting that way, and I think somebody was talking about how can you take a corner in those conditions. And I suppose you've got a point there. You'd all have to take short corners, wouldn't you, just to be safe? Is that compromising the game too much? Do we have to slow it down to accommodate the conditions?
Yeah. If you want to get the game completed, yes. I do think you have to go back to a bit more of an old school way of playing the game. Really, you can't do tick-a-tacker on that kind of pitch at all. I still think the game can be played to a degree, but once the ball stops travelling because of the impediment of the water, then you've got a real problem on your hands. And so with that in mind, I felt like it was a bit of a touch and go as to whether it could be called off or not. I'm glad it wasn't, and I'm glad that Nelson kind of got their moment in the sun. But I think if it had carried on...
Listen, we'll come to the fourth round draw proper in a minute, but let's just discuss a few more of those results. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier on in the show there. Bearscough once again out on penalties. Well, it was the first game that they were out on penalties. Chadderton won 5-4. Yes, very competitive game. No disgrace in losing there on penalties, as we know it's a lottery. So tough luck to Bearscough, but good luck to Chadderton.
Yep.
Albion Sports, they had the home advantage, but they couldn't beat South Liverpool. So South Liverpool progress to the next round with a 3-0 win. I think you predicted Albion Sports there, did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I went with South Liverpool, so I got that one right anyway.
That's fine.
Droylsden, I've mentioned Droylsden managed to defeat Fulwood Amateurs 2-0 in front of a crowd of 328.
Yeah, a couple of late goals there from the Bloods, Liam Moran and Keelan Kellini.
Yeah.
Scoring past the 80 mark to secure the win over fellow Division One North competition there in Fulwood Amateurs. Themselves not an easy team to edge past. So Droylsden have got interest within the fourth round of the draw.
So West Didsbury and Chilton, they beat Rossington Main away from home 3-0.
Yeah, that made quite light work of their South Yorkshire opponents there. Goals from Lewis Billingsley, Billy Matthews and Victor Abadaki taking the bragging rights back over the other side of the Pennines for the Inform West.
So that now means that we have five teams from the Northwest Counties representing the Northwest Counties in the fourth round proper. So Droylsden at home to Sherwood Coles. South Liverpool are at home to Winsford or Prestwich Hayes. I think that should have been played this week, but was postponed because of the weather.
Yep.
Chadderton are at home to North Shields. That's a big game there. Imagine a decent sort of away following. And West Didsbury and Chilton versus Nelson, a all Northwest Counties tie. Which way do we see that one going?
Well, again, I mean, there's nothing to say that Nelson couldn't defeat West Didsbury and Chilton themselves, having a couple of alien results across the season, whereas Nelson got to be on a bit more of a high after beating Ramy in the last round. So all the momentum should be with the away side here. They might be disappointed not to get a slightly more glamorous tie. No disrespect at all to West Didsbury and Chilton, but you would have hoped that they would have wanted a decent away day, or have a slightly more unfamiliar side coming to Little Wembley. Nonetheless, it is a side that they know a bit about. West Didsbury, well followed side, well known about side in these parts. So I think Aaron Ripley's kind of got a good hand on the cards there.
Yeah, he'd be very, very confident. At least the one thing that it does mean is that the winner of that time means that there will be representation at the very least in the last 16 of the competition.
Yeah, and fifth round. Not to mention as well South Liverpool and their draw against either Winsford or Prestwich.
Yeah, that could be.
So we've had Winsford. They are in the Midland League now, but they were laterally moved based on last season's exploits in the Division One South. So by technicality, if nothing else, there's representation.
Yeah, definitely looks good. Looking at that draw there, though, it still looks as though it's a regionalised draw. I thought the fourth round onwards was right across the country. We seem to have drawn all the teams up in the northern hemisphere.
Sherwood Colliery is still that's
it's on that Midland line, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't think that they can go too far. I wonder if it's split between north and south.
Well, at this stage I can't remember what year it was now. Show me age now. I think it was 2002, 2001. We drew Taunton Town in the fourth round.
That's Somerset, isn't it?
That was down in Devon.
Oh, Christ.
Devon. Down to Devon.
What a wonderful bus journey that.
Well, we didn't go. They came to us.
Oh, fine.
And they were one of the top teams in the sort of non-league spheres. They're a really big team. Taunton did regularly well in the FA Vase as well, if memory serves me correct.
Who won?
We lost. I can't remember. We started off well enough. I just can't remember what the result was now. I think it was 2-0 to them.
Yeah.
But we had a big gate on that day as well.
And
that was at the old White Moss Park.
Yeah, which we've been seeing pictures of recently.
Yeah.
Alan Swift's. I think it's Alan Swift. One of his relatives has taken a lot of photos from back in the day, been posting them on all the lost grounds.
Another great segue there, of course. We'd like to wish Alan Swift all the very best in his recovery. He was at the game against... Who did we play? At home last time, yeah.
Halewood Apollo.
Halewood Apollo. He was at the game then, didn't look very well, and apparently later on that night he was in hospital.
He'd been taken out, hadn't he?
He'd been taken into hospital, having suffered a stroke. So we wish him all the very best. As we know, he's a Skem legend. He won the Amateur Cup in 1971.
Wearing the shirt that I can see here in the portrait, he wore that very same white shirt with the black and white collar. Evidently of a legendary chapter in the club's history. But the
one
latest,
of the most famous number 7s Skem has ever had.
Wow. But the latest news that we got from Alan's family is that he is now home, having been discharged from hospital, and he'll be continuing his recovery within familiar four walls. So huge bit of good news there on the back of a very concerning period for Alan and everybody connected with Skem. So all the very best, Alan. We do hope that you're listening to the show.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's really sort of bizarre that we'd mentioned it at that stage, because we're talking about the FA Vase, which is sort of the post FA Amateur Cup competition, because once that stopped, the FA Vase reared its ugly head, if you like.
It came into being, didn't it? Yeah. So, why would you name your team Cockfosters?
Where's that, Cockfosters?
Number 11. Cockfosters versus Crawley Down Gatwick.
I don't know, but there are some bizarre names in this country. I mean, believe it or not, there is a place in this country called TWAT.
I think there's 2 T's in it.
Is there?
I think, yes.
I'm not entirely convinced, but I mean...
Well, nonetheless.
Listen, talking about... You've mentioned something there. Now I've got to bring up really bizarre names.
If you are a Cockfosters fan or associate, we do apologise for poking gentle fun at your team's name. We have nothing but respect for non-league teams. We just have to wonder why they're called Cockfosters.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at bizarre names, there's one here, Bellend FC. I don't know whether there's a Bellend football club, but there's certainly a place called Bellend.
Brilliant.
I know. I'm just trying to think. Is there any others? There's got to be. There's got to be some corkers here. Boggy Bottom. There's a place called Boggy Bottom. And of course the song there by the Crowds is Up the Bottom. It's just put that one out there. Yeah, this show's descended. It's really Sorry. But anyway, listen. Answers on a postcard for that one. Anybody can think of any really bizarre names of football clubs. And listen, we'll bring the best of the worst. We'll bring on the show.
Yes, post it into us at Please Stop Laughing at Our Football Club, Dalton, Skelmersdale, WN8. Moving on to the FA Cup.
Yeah, Macclesfield have been drawn at home to Crystal Palace in the third round of the FA Cup.
An enormous fairy tale story there for the Macclesfield. As we know, we reported last year on the show the drawing of Accrington Stanley against Liverpool in the third round of the FA Cup, which then led to Dale Woods Senior being a guest on one of our episodes last year. Well, this year we've got an equally fairy tale story for Macclesfield. They're being drawn to the holders of the FA Cup, Crystal Palace, in the third round. An enormous tie, and one that's surely meant to bring a huge gate into rural Cheshire. Frank, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I question whether it's as big a tie as the Liverpool Accrington one, purely based on the fact that it was played at home as well for Liverpool. Crystal Palace don't have the same appeal as Liverpool. If I was going to draw anybody in the Premier League, listen, I'd be made up if I drew anyone in the third round of the FA Cup.
Scan, yeah.
But if you'd want to draw someone like Chelsea, Newcastle, Everton, Liverpool, Man United, City, Spurs.
I get it.
I mean, because we're talking about another competition there. That Marine also got to the third round against Tottenham.
They did
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Didn't promised not to make a great deal of money. In the end, they had a virtual ticket system, which has made their fortune, if you like, because now they've got a plastic pitch, which is bringing in regular income that they didn't have before.
Including from us.
Yeah, including from us as well.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it has the same appeal. Yet they are the FA Cup holders. It's at home, so it's going to be a limited gate.
But they will make full use of that because Macclesfield themselves, well-supported team, big following, 100%. But you want to have that gate because you're bringing in home revenue, aren't you? You might get a little...
But it's still split.
You still get a split of the gate if you're away, 100%. But the logistics of not having to send a bus all the way down the length of the M1 and the M6 to get to London, I think is a massive plus point for Macclesfield. They have to play host, which means... they're not having to spend as much money, and their fans aren't having to spend as much money either. And quite honestly, I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a Crystal Palace fan. They are the FA Cup holders, they are the Community Shield holders. They are in European football right now. They have probably never had a bigger following than this and never had like a bigger successful period in their lives. So actually drawing Crystal Palace right now is an absolute massive plus point for Macclesfield.
It's a big game for them. One assumes, because I've not seen the listings yet for TV, but I would imagine that's definitely going to be highlighted. It's going to be the highlight of the TV
which again
calendar.
Gives Macclesfield a cut of the TV.
Yeah, and you can only hope that what you can do is that they do a bit of a Burton Albion, what Burton Albion did many years ago, and they drew 0-0 to Manchester United.
I remember
and
that.
got a replay out of that.
Old Trafford, that was irritating.
Yeah. Did they draw at Old Trafford and then take them to Burton?
That's exactly.
I couldn't remember which way round.
That's exactly how it was. It was the same for Exeter a couple of years prior. Exeter drew 0-0 at Old Trafford and took them to St James's Park. Not that one, the one down in the south. They lost 2-0, but still they had 2 bites at Man United at a time when there was nobody bigger. For Macclesfield, I think all the plus points are in their favour there. And like I say, I'm expecting a heavy Crystal Palace following there up into Cheshire.
So it's a great day for the supporters because it's not that long back when everything went sort of
south.
Yeah, south.
Yeah, very much so. And maybe now with this kind of draw, they won't need to keep selling off their players to Forest Green Rovers.
Yeah. Well, listen, that was a limited window anyway, isn't it? I mean, he's got to be really speaking. If I'm Robbie Savage now, you'd be recruiting from higher up if you've got aspirations of moving further up. I think that's always the sort of pretext to any promotion is if you've got serious ambitions of moving up a level, you've got to be looking at players that are slightly above you, maybe some of them have to be the older ones that are a little bit out of not particularly first team players anymore, sitting on the bench more often, but have got the experience at that level to bring them up. Whereas if you're recruiting from Macclesfield, you recruit.
Which they are, Forest Green are.
It's a lower level, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So
that said, I would have imagined that Macclesfield's recruitment has been pretty similar to what I'm suggesting now.
Could be.
When Robbie and was it Rob Smethurst as well?
Yes, it was Rob Smethurst.
Chairman at the time.
Yeah.
I would imagine they were recruiting from teams higher up as well.
Oh, I would think so.
Their aspirations must be huge.
Yeah, they're in
much similar to Berry's.
Well, they're in the national. Are they in the National League North now? They are, yeah.
They got promoted last season.
They did, yeah. So Macclesfield are in the National League North. So, yeah, an excellent draw for them against the holders and Premier League opposition.
So we keep an eye on that one. Is that normally played the 3rd of December, the week commencing?
No, it's for
January. 3rd of January.
Yeah, it'll be 3rd of January.
December's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be 3rd of January onwards. So that'll be the pick of the draws there. Now, the FA Trophy comes back into being this weekend, and without a doubt the pick of the weekend is at Clitheroe, who host heavyweight National League Premier side York City. So Sean McConville has been gearing his troops up for the arrival of the Minster men, and has said in a pre-match statement that his team aren't going to be setting up to sit back and take the attacks from York themselves. He is setting up. I'll give you the. I won't set up a team here to sit back. We'll always go and try and win the game, and that will be the same come Saturday.
Listen, I think they've got to go for it.
Of course they do.
York, I mean, I've watched them a couple of times this season already, and they're in excellent form. Both times I've been to see them. I think they won 5-0. I think they beat Forest. Who did they beat? They beat Rochdale 5-0. I'm just trying to think of the other team that they beat at home. But they're in excellent form themselves. They're a really good attacking team. And I think, I think even if they sit back, they'll ship goals.
I think that's
so. If they've got any chance of putting them on the defensive, that's probably the best way of.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, Clitheroe's attack is one that's actually quite well documented. We mentioned it a fair few times on the show, but they've got big players in there. Veron Parney, Sefton Gonzalez, Leon Creech, Tom Scarborough. All these players coming in, as part of the Clitheroe attack. They're not going to be sitting back here. They're going to want to go out and get in the faces of York. And it's going to be a big sell at the Loomloft Stadium there. Over 1,500 tickets have been sold as of 2 days ago, and I think I
did ask the question. What have they set a capacity for this game? But nobody came back to me.
No, I'm not sure that they have. So Clitheroe's ground holds. Is it 2,000?
2,400 is it?
2,400, yeah. Now they aren't doing any on-the-day ticket sales, so all tickets have to be bought in advance over the internet. Sensible. Yeah, it's sensible. You'd never get them all in time, but nonetheless, they're preparing for it big. They're also selling match jerseys and training gear at a slightly reduced rate. Just in order to perfectly sell out as York come to town, which is fair. Yeah.
Listen, we wish them, Sean, obviously the best of luck. Listen, it's a good day out for them. Whatever way it turns out, if they manage to get a draw. And a tie played at York, then it's an even better day out for them.
Yeah, it will be, very much so. And to be fair to Clitheroe, they're actually doing it on a run of good form as well. Unbeaten in their last 6 games. So perfect preparation.
Are they scoring a lot of goals? They've not taken a great.
They're scoring a few. Yeah, so
they're mid-table at the moment. Are
they are mid-table. They're in 11th. Yeah, their biggest win in their last 6 games was a 4-1 victory over Stafford Rangers. With that being said, though, they did take a point.
1-1 to Lower Breck.
Yeah, exactly. And that was by virtue of a last-minute equaliser from Breck to take a share of the points there. But nonetheless, they're not scoring an awful lot of goals. But that being said, they've only conceded... the last time they conceded more than 1 goal was in their 3-3 draw with Spalton Calcer at the tail end of October. Since then, they've played 7 matches, kept clean sheets in 3 of them, and reduced the opposition to just a solitary goal in the other meetings. And some big names in there: Whitton Albion, Chase Town, Stafford, Lower Breck, all teams who were only able to come away with just a single goal for their efforts.
We've been talking about Clitheroe, of course, but they're not the only team that are still in the competition locally.
Nope.
Marine are away to Curzon Ashton. Southport are at home to Leek Town, and Radcliffe are away to Hereford.
The former League Two side, Hereford.
Yeah, big game for Radcliffe. But looking at sort of recent form, Marine lost at home to Spennymoor Town in the league on Saturday, but managed to beat Bearscough in the Liverpool Senior Cup, as we mentioned before. Southport drew at AFC Telford last weekend and now are unbeaten in their last 8 games. Prescott Cables have lost their last 3 games on the bounce and now on the bottom 5 of the Northern Premier League. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
A little bit of a mouthful. Not the easiest chapter for Prescott Cables at the minute. We'll come to them in a second. So Southport, unbeaten in their last 8 games, as Frank has mentioned. They seem to have really kind of steadied themselves in the last handful of games as well. So they were completely adrift at the bottom when we last checked in on them, where concerns over Neil Danz's future were getting a little bit louder. They're now up to 19th in the table, so they've kicked clear of the relegation zone by a single point and have games in hand on the 3 teams above them, Worksop Town, Bedford Town and Kings Lynn Town. And then you've got Buxton and AFC Telford United all within catching distance over the next couple of games. So awful lot of reasons for Southport to be optimistic going into the Christmas break there.
But how do you see the FA Cup ties, FA Trophy ties
the
going?
FA Trophy ties,
against Curzon, both in the same division.
They are.
I think Southport are favourites to beat Leek, so listen, I'm fully behind Marine and Southport, to be fair. And of course Radcliffe want all 3 to win.
Well, so with Southport being at home to Leek Town, Leek are not in the same division. Which team is Leek in? Leek in the league above? Sorry, league below?
I can't remember where Leek is. I haven't sort of not registered with Leek for a long, long time.
No, me either.
Well, listen, good ties for both. I mean, are we Midland Division? I don't know.
Could be Midland Division, yeah. Honestly, not a massive. They're not a big team on my radar. Southport versus AFC Telford. A good result for them, and now now got to go to host Leek there. As for Radcliffe away at Hereford never a particularly easy team to navigate around, but Radcliffe's co-management, it will be a bit of a test to see how much the rumours of their move to Gig Lane and Bury are going to shake the proverbial ship.
So Leek are in the Northern Premier League, aren't they?
Rest of Southport in National League, so they're the team above, the league above. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, best of luck to both Marine and Southport. Wishing you all the best in the FA Trophy.
Yeah.
Now, talking about teams that sort of a little bit indifferent, we talked about Padiham and their issues, Ramsbottom, Atherton, LR. Well, Lower Breck have been in excellent forms, turned into draw specialists with 3 draws on the bounce. Still top of the league. Bury have dropped to 7th, and they're still in search for a new manager. First of all, what do you make of Lower Breck and what are you making of Bury so far?
So Lower Breck, I don't think anybody anticipated the scale of their rise through the Northern Premier League West. There, I think it's taken us all completely by surprise. I think there were a handful of teams that we expected to be up towards the top of the table. I don't think Lower Breck were one of them, and I think, as I've said before, it kind of went under the radar as to just how good they were in the face of teams like Bury. Breaking that points record within the North West Counties Premier Division, and there was an anticipation there that they'd carry on their amazing form from last season and be up towards the top end of the table themselves. And I think it's probably a testament to how well Gary Moore has invested in the off-season and drilled his team. into being, not only survivors but actual competitors within this division as they look to actually go to the Northern Premier League Premier Division. I don't even think any Lower Breck fan, no matter how optimistic, would think that this would happen. Nonetheless, they do sit at the top of the table. Avro do have a game in hand on them and a 2-point gap difference between the pair. But still pretty staggering for Breck. I mean, how many? There's playoffs in the Northern Premier League West, isn't there? Is it 2 through till 5 that get into the playoffs? Is that?
I can't remember now. Is it 2 to 6, or is that in the National League?
Ooh.
I'm not too sure, but listen, they stand as good a chance as any, don't they? Really, they're doing particularly well. So,
they are.
Good luck in their continued success, Lower Breck.
Well, yeah, the thing is,
we've got a soft spot for Bury. I think as soon as they've sorted their manager situation out, it's gone really, really quiet at the moment. One can only imagine that there might be sort of some kind of compensation package being discussed to get the joint managers of Radcliffe over there. Morley and Jono.
If indeed that is where they're going. Because
boyhood supporters of Bury, I mean, will you ever get the opportunity ever again?
Yeah, I mean, how long have they been in business together now? About 5 years, and they're still relatively young. They're only in there.
They've been there a lot longer than that because they started out at Ramsbottom, didn't they? They dropped a level to go to Southport. And played a part in that, that class of '92, the documentary and what have you, and then sort of dropped back down to
Chester.
Well, went to Chester and then dropped back down to Radcliffe, didn't they, to manage Radcliffe. So I can still see them going to Bury, and unless somebody tells me differently. I know they put that press announcement out to say that they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, true.
But that's such a big job, and I don't think that job comes around too often. If I was them, listen, they have a shocking turn of fortune and end up losing a string of games, and then we look at loyalty at any level. I just don't think these opportunities come along often enough. And if I was them, I'd be absolutely, I'd be hoping that they're going to sort out some kind of compensation package to release them.
It is a bit like being dropped into the lion's den, though. It's a demand like no other at this level.
But if it's the job you've always wanted, it's a no-brainer.
But the jobs that you've always wanted never necessarily turn out to be the jobs that you would really enjoy.
Yeah. I can understand what you're saying, but how far can Radcliffe go?
Well, at the minute,
I don't know how much kind of financial support they have, through the chairman and what have you. But that club has a level. I mean, they got over 1,000 supporters, I think, at the weekend.
Yeah.
But above that, they're not a Salford, they're not a Bury.
No, they're not. But
and unless you've got deep enough pockets to keep that club growing. Bury's the only way that you're going to ever play in the Football League or manage in the Football League. There's no reason why them blokes can't.
This is true. I don't know. There's a feeling I have that the story at Radcliffe isn't finished yet. They're 10th in the National League North, and for me, they've been as high as 5th. And they're still within, reasonable distance of getting into the top 5 again. There's only 2 points between them in 9th, Darlington in 5th, Kidderminster in 4th on 34 points. So they can still catch them. They really can. So I have every belief that the Radcliffe story with them isn't finished. I just think that there's more that they can do. I really do. And I know that everyone has a natural level, and maybe the National League North is Radcliffe's, but you'd want to shoot for the stars if you're them, particularly given how much they've put into Radcliffe at the minute. You'd want to see the story.
You transfer over to Bury and you're shooting for the stars, believe me, because that's the only way that club can go. They've got to go up.
True.
There's absolutely no doubt about that.
But the pressure will be on enormously. That noise behind Bury is deafening, and that can have the difficulties on any manager.
Big question for you if you're here then. Can you see a fracture between the two. So Anthony Johnson decides to take up the Berry job, and Bernard Morley stays at Radcliffe. Now, that's a totally different equation.
Yeah, it is.
And you've heard it here first on this show. I don't know. But listen, we'll move on, shall we, for now? Should we move on? Or do you want to carry on debating?
No, I think we've got to move on. I think we've got to leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger here. It'll just be really interesting. Yeah.
It'd been a great time to have Chris Watts on the show, wouldn't it? Just to get a little bit of inside.
No, I mean, we could even get Morley and Johnson on the show and then just ask them outright.
Listen, I think they're far too busy to entertain us, but who knows. Listen, we move on to the controversial corner. Not much to talk about here because there's not a great deal gone on, but
nothing controversial.
It's been announced that the ex-manager Paul McNally, ex-Schem manager Paul McNally, is the manager of the newly formed Widnes Town. The club, which has aspirations to join the non-league system, is the Phoenix club of the now defunct Widnes. For those that remember, they won the Northern Premier League West last season, only to go out of business in the summer.
It's an extremely sorry tale there for Widnes. They'd done so well, but I think it was a combination of a loss of money going in and the demands on having to pay the rent.
We believe they were paying something like £2,000 a home game.
Yeah, they were, which is ludicrous for any club at this level. And to be quite honest, they were the tenants at Widnes Vikings, the rugby league team,
which is a council-owned ground. So I could never understand why the pressure. Listen, I'm assuming it was because I think City of Liverpool playing £2,000 per game, but it'd be interesting to know what they were actually paying and why the council couldn't come to some kind of agreement with them.
Yeah, very interesting, that one. It'd be good to get somebody from the old Widnes on the show.
We did. We attempted to get Ian Ross on, didn't we? And he said he was interested, but at the time things were a little bit too raw for him.
That's fair.
But yeah, listen, we can still try and get him on.
We can still get him on now.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Paul McNally, who coached Schem through arguably one of their most successful periods of the 21st century, including he was the manager when we got to the first round of the FA Cup proper, correct?
Yeah, he got us promoted from the North West Counties back up to the Northern Premier League.
In 2022.
Runners up to Macclesfield, who we've just been talking about.
Yeah, a team that was spearheaded by the previously mentioned Michael Howard, Warrington Town's Elliot Morris, and the previous City of Liverpool players Danny Mitchley and Kenny Strickland. An absolutely amazing team of superstars, if ever there was one, at this level.
Any information on where they're going to be playing their home games? We heard?
Not a Scooby-Doo. It's all very quiet at Widnes at the minute. There's an awful lot of advertising out for management structures, so they are investing in a ladies team, and they are advertising.
Well, as far as I knew, they still had a junior setup, didn't they?
Yeah.
That wasn't affected by the closure of the first team.
It was not, no, and I wonder whether they'll now amalgamate into one. It'll be interesting to see that, with Widnes Town now having a new existence, a new badge, a new everything, really. I think what's going to be interesting for Paul McNally to see if he links up with his old mate Graham Hastings, who we know very well at Schem because he is our
youth team manager.
That's the one.
Yeah, I was going to ask him the question, but I didn't get the time this week. But it did get me thinking about Flixton Football Club. Now, as we know, Flixton Football Club have applied for the Northwest Counties. We had a discussion a few weeks ago, I believe, and somebody turned around and said to me that they have nothing to do with the old Flixton. They're in the same ground, they're using the same badge, but they just got new ownership.
That's like saying, you sell me your car. That has nothing to do with the previous mileage put in, because it's a new owner.
Yeah.
But same badge, same history, same MOT.
I mean, the club in fairness has been defunct for, 11, 12 years?
11, 12 years. 12 years.
Was it 13?
2012, was it? Yeah, it was 2012. So 13 years. Near enough.
And I've listened, I heard a rumour that in order for them to talk the North West counties into accepting them, they needed to provide proof that they had enough following to avoid playing at Step 7. I might be wrong on that one. Love to get somebody on the show to discuss that.
Yeah.
Because FC United, if you remember when they formed...
In 2005?
Yeah, they started at the bottom rung of the North West Counties Football League, but they, I think when they went to the FA, they said, listen, the situation with us is we're going to have about 4,000 supporters, and they just won't be able to fit on parks. There'll be a security issue.
That's an interesting notion, actually. And that being that's a very clever loophole into getting yourself slotted in at Step 6 rather than having to prove yourself at the amateur level. And to be honest, I don't think there was any question that FC United of Manchester were going to make a decent run of it. They were a breakout from Manchester United when they were taken over by the Glazer family in 2005. Of course, they were going to have a massive following anyway, and pretty soon got set up with Broadfield Park in Moston, which is Broadhurst, sorry.
Is it Broadhurst?
Yeah, it's Broadhurst Stadium in Moston.
Is it Broadhurst?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Man United fan. I know all of this stuff. I asked them if I could be a stadium announcer once. They never got back to me.
Did it? Oh, before or since you joined me?
Before.
So it's definitely not since?
No, that would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going to check on this.
Pretty much do what I like at Scamming. It's fine.
I'm going to do my Googling now.
Yeah, do your Googling. But nonetheless... I think it's a different setup completely, isn't it? I mean, Flixton, they weren't massively supported when they were in the... They had dwindling numbers.
They were in the Northern Premier League once upon a time.
Well, yeah, they were in the Northern Premier League, but you can be in the Northern Premier League and not have an enormous following. I've been listening recently to our interview with Tony Young, the Blythe Spartans superfan. It was a wonderfully impassioned speech he gave against Bamber Bridge last season. If you've not seen it, go find it on social media. It's absolutely wonderful. But what he was saying was there were teams around him, like particularly Stockton Town, whose average gate was about 190, maybe 200, and they were still managing to float at a consistent level in the non-league circuit. Now, if you imagine that same kind of rule of thumb applying to Flixton, if they've got a big following, sure, but there's a reason that they went out of business in the first place, and I don't think it was down to mismanagement of funds, because they weren't that massively supported, were they? Even though they had their own ground, the gates weren't big, were they?
No.
Exactly. So I don't know if they've got that justification that they're going to be that well followed, that it's going to be a security issue in the Manchester Amateur Football League, which is where they would end up.
It's an American financier that's taken control of Flixton, and
yes,
one imagines that he's bought the stadium, whoever from, I don't know whether it was back in the hands of the council or whoever Flixton owed debt to it, whether it was a council-owned ground before then. I'm not entirely sure.
No, me neither. That's like
I'd love to really get somebody on the show to see what the dynamics of this new venture is and how they're going to carry it forward. It seems that I think initially they talked about ploughing 5 million instantly, and they've got 5 million set to one side to invest in the football club. That sounds like a lot of money, but you know what? In terms of a structure over the next 5-6 years, £5 million could go absolutely nowhere.
It really could. We've seen wasted funds before, haven't we? Yeah. I mean, we've experienced it firsthand. We've seen it at a lot of clubs. City of Liverpool being one where money's been ploughed in at a rate, nothing's coming out the other end, and then the funds dry up, and then you've got nowhere to run really. No. So the rumour mill is that a former SCEM associate is now on the management team at Flixton, isn't he?
No.
Really?
No, that was a team that played them.
Oh, I see. It wasn't Hassan Salem?
Oh, sorry. You're right. You are right. Hassan Salim, former assistant manager to Pascal Chimbonda.
There you go.
I think he's still involved.
Okay. Good to get him on then, if he is still involved.
Yeah. We could definitely try that. But yeah, an interesting one anyway.
Very
I
much.
don't know whether Widnes, the newly formed Widnes, have got any designs on joining the North West counties at this stage. And listen, I'd just like to reiterate the point that I have no problem with any team trying to join the North West counties as long as other people that have potential for joining the North West counties aren't pushed to further down the pecking order into bringing Flixton there. I mean, arguably, and I mentioned this argument last week or the week before when I said that it really irks me the fact that if we'd have gone out of business last year, we could have applied for the North West counties as a Phoenix club. But then we'd have had to prove
our following,
which
has dwindled.
But what they're doing is now they were supposed to be playing City of Liverpool at Bearscough on Tuesday night. It didn't come off. But what they did is they had a bus, a coach taking supporters over there. So they were trying to prove that they had something like 50 supporters following them. At least 50 supporters following them. Whether that's the minimum sort of criteria. And listen, I'm totally waffling here because this could be all just total hearsay. So anybody that knows more about the story and is willing to come onto the show and discuss it, then
get involved.
Yeah, please get in touch with us. Listen, we'll move on to Southport.
Back to Southport.
We're back to Southport now. They've managed to have their review of the Senior Cup fixture found in favour of them, the Liverpool County FA. So they've concluded the review and they've ruled that Southport ruled in Southport's favour. We thank Liverpool County FA for their time and giving the matter due consideration. So we're talking about the City of Liverpool game where Southport said they were not playing them because they owed them money, historic debts that they hadn't paid. City of Liverpool in return turned around and said we don't owe anything, and they explained the reasons why they thought they didn't owe anything, but either or Southport determined that they did, and the FA have found in their favour.
In Southport's favour.
So they appreciate the continued support of all the supporters and their understanding. I just felt at the time maybe it was one of those things that should have gone, it should have been kept quiet. I think this could have been done behind closed doors, but then maybe it couldn't have done. I don't know.
Well, you'd need to. It would be in the public interest to explain or have a reasonable justification as to why you weren't going to be playing City of Liverpool in the Senior Cup. You can't. It's not really like you just afford an away walkover and leave it at that. People want to know what's going on, and I know it does put City of Liverpool under a bit of a bad light. But if the Liverpool County FA have kind of found in their favour, then there's obviously going to be a bit of meat beyond the allegation.
Yeah, there's a bit of a backup to the allegations.
Of course there is, yeah. What we are not sure about at this point is what this means for their actual fixture and who progresses. Now, does it mean that City of Liverpool progress on the grounds that Southport have withdrawn from the fixture? Or does this mean that Southport...
Well, up to this point, City of Liverpool still retain the right to appeal the decision, whether or not they do that, and within what time frame they've got to do it in order for a fixture to be played. I would have assumed by the fact that the Liverpool County FA backed them up, backed Southport up, that Southport will be progressing to the next round unless both teams have been excluded from the competition.
I'm going to say, if City and Liverpool are excluded from the competition, that does strike me as a little unfair, given that they were willing to play the game.
Well, listen, you'd have to go deeper into the rule book to find out where they stand on that, because in terms of competitions, we know that you've got to, to be part of a league, you have to pass a fit and proper test. You'd also scrutinised financially. If you break those rules, then you kicked out of competition. So if it's a financial ruling, I would imagine, and they've ruled in Southport's favour, then City of Liverpool will be kicked out of the competition. And I would assume they'd be kicked out of the competition until they repay those alleged funds that they've not paid.
You might be right. Interesting.
But it'd be interesting to see whether it's gone too far now for either team to be included in the competition. But listen, we'll know more about that, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks. So further updates will be shared if necessary. So listen, we're going to move on to part 2 of the show. Oh, you've done... Hang on a minute.
I finished my homework.
He's finished his homework now. And the only reason that he wants to announce what his score for his predictions is because he's obviously beaten me. Go on then.
13.
13? I don't know where you got 13 from.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, go on. First Division North then. Who did you back in First Division North?
First Division North. I backed Thornton Cleveland's versus Ashton Town. That was a draw.
Yeah.
The only one I got right.
That was the only one in that division you got right?
Yes.
Well, I got every single one wrong in there. So which ones did you get right that I didn't?
Okay.
Have you predicted games that weren't played?
No. Chadderton versus Burscough. I went with Chadderton.
Chadderton versus Burscough. Yeah, I went for... I went for South Liverpool, Chadderton, Droylsden, Ramsbottom, West Disbury and Chilton, and Prestwich Hayes.
So
Prestwich Hayes didn't get played.
So I backed West Disbury and Chilton.
Yeah.
Droylsden and Chadderton.
Yeah.
I got Ramsbottom wrong.
Why? What did you go for?
I went for Ramsbottom, and then I backed Albion Sports against South Liverpool, and obviously South Liverpool won. So
So I'm winning that league there. So the Premier Division, AFC Liverpool, Abbey Hay, I got that right.
I got that right as well.
I went for Barnoldswick against Atherton Allard. I'm assuming you got Atherton Allard.
No, I went for Barnoldswick.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Charnock, I went for Charnock. Charnock won.
Well, they didn't play.
No, sorry, it's my eyesight. I got Wythenshawe against City of Liverpool.
So did I.
Oh, listen. Anyway, I don't know where you got the rest of yours from, but 13?
I got 13, yeah. So I backed Wythenshawe, I backed Glossop, I backed Padiham and they went wrong. FC St Helens against Stockport Town, I got that one right. And then in the Division One South, Stafford Town versus Shawbury, I got that one right. The only other game was Cheadle Heath Nomads versus Oscott Heath, I got that wrong. Chadderton versus Pilks on Tuesday night, I got that right. And then AFC Liverpool versus Wythenshawe on Wednesday night, I got that one correct. Telford Town versus Wolverhampton Casuals.
Who's this? AFC where?
AFC Liverpool versus Wythenshawe.
All right, and you went for who?
Wythenshawe.
All right, I didn't see that one yet. I got that one right as well, so that makes me 10.
All right.
It's a little bit closer, isn't it? I didn't realise that was played.
I'm getting nervous now.
Most of the games were cancelled, weren't they?
Yeah, and then Telford Town versus Wolverhampton Casuals, I got that one right. And then Remy versus South Liverpool got that one
Telford Town versus... sorry, I didn't mark that one off. Litherland versus South Liverpool.
Yeah.
South Liverpool won that one.
Yeah.
So I've got that one. Hang on a minute. I didn't realise it. Not so. In Division One North on Wednesday, any games played at all?
MSB Woolton versus Nelson. That was a draw.
All right, I didn't get that one right.
And then Baker Borough versus Squires Gate was a draw.
All right, I didn't get that one either. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm sure I could find another one if I looked, because I didn't realise.
Big sigh of relief there.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a close one. But listen, we'll move on to the second part of the show when we will be talking to the manager of Eccleshall FC, Liam Kelly.
Yes.
So join us after the break when we'll be speaking to him soon. A heartfelt shout out to all the businesses supporting Skelmersdale United Football Club, especially T&W Garners and Pedro de Seda Enterprises. Thank you to everyone who donates to the club, supports our race nights, raffles, lottery bonus ball scheme and the weekly draw in conjunction with NYCBA. A special thanks to those who organise such fundraising events, with a particular mention for the incredible Lee Davis and Rowena Hughes. To everyone who stands by us both on and off the pitch, we are truly grateful. If you wish to sponsor the show, please contact me at chairman.skemutdfc@gmail.com or alternatively call me on 077 66054 548. All proceeds will go to Skelmersdale United Football Club. Thank you for your unwavering support. Hello and welcome to the second part of the show, and a warm welcome to Liam Kelly, who's the Eccleshall manager. And for so long throughout the season and last season, I've been pronouncing the name of Eccleshall either Eccleshall or Eccleshall. I think the correct pronunciation is Eccleshall. Is that correct?
No, it's Eccleshall, actually.
Is it Eccleshall? Oh, well, you know what? Yeah. I don't believe that. You know what? I actually...
Everyone does it, mate.
I've been pronouncing it as Eccleshall for a long time, and not been too... Because I know there's an Eccleshall Town as well, isn't there? Or is it Eccleshill?
It's Eccleshill,
is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there is an Eccleshall Town down south, yeah, because I've seen them get our Twitter.
And that is pronounced Eccleshall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, we've got the same issue with Holland, haven't we? We've no idea how to pronounce that up until very recently.
Yeah. But what I actually did today, believe it or not, I googled when I knew you were coming on the show. I googled pronunciation of Eccleshall, and it said Eccleshall, not Eccleshall.
Well, you need to amend
Maybe
Google.
I've been doing it wrong for years, man.
Listen, well, you're from that neck of the woods. You should know better than anyone. But listen, like I say, warm welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, gents. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Listen, if my research is correct, you're only 33 years of age, aren't you?
Yes, mate. Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'm glad I got that bit right.
There we go.
That would have blown the rest of the show, because we've had a lot of really, really young managers on this show. It's unbelievable. Listen, before we discuss with Eccleshall, tell us a bit more about your football journey that led you to become the manager of Eccleshall in the first place.
Well, I was playing like just local stuff, kind of the Staffs County League kind of thing for our stuff, playing Sundays, and I went self-employed. I'm a barber, I've got my own barber shop, not to give it a plug.
I thought
so. But yeah, so obviously being self-employed, I just didn't want to run the risk of getting injured. I was doing London Marathon for charity, and I just put all my efforts into that. I started coaching my brother's youth team just to keep me busy, and we ended up being really successful. Went from all the way through from under 60s to under 21s, and we ended up, by the time we were 21s, we won the double for their age group. Then I started managing at Step 7 in the Staffs County Senior League at a couple of clubs. Went through the leagues there. We had a couple of promotions and a couple of cup finals. Abbey Alton United, who used to be in our league, I started managing their reserve side, so I did start to get a bit of a feel for the Northwest counties, obviously seeing that from a distance, and then COVID hit, and it just kind of put a bit of a dent in that kind of like project we had going there. I'd already been at Eccleshall doing an interim role like a few years before, just to help them out, because they had a few lads who'd played for me and the youth team was playing for them, and we kept them up. I think it was about 2015 roughly, and then I left Abbey Alton, just a bit of a disagreement with how we were doing things with being a reserve team, nothing personal, just the way football goes. And then I just had my little boy and I planned to have a break, and Eccleshall's management team left. They were in a bit of a real relegation battle. They gave me the call, and I'm not one to turn down a challenge, so ended up back at Eccleshall, and it's been nothing but good stuff since, really. Just onwards and upwards.
So you've been in the hot seat since September 2021, and there's been a season-by-season improvement since you took the role on. Last season you reached the playoffs. You were beaten 5-0 by an excellent Abbey Alton in the semi-finals. Not the result you hoped for, but given your form this season, I guess the aim at the beginning of this season was to finish at least in the playoffs again.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the one thing we said from the minute we walked in. Obviously, the first ever objective was to keep them up, because I think we were second bottom. I think we were 10 points adrift when we first ever took over. But then after that, it was breaking to the top 10, because that was kind of the time where the top 10, the top 6 of our league got you in the FA Cup. They then changed the rule that year, so it was like, right, can we go improve again? We got in the top 8, I think it was. Then it was playoffs last year, which we probably overachieved a little bit, but then this year with the recruitment we've done, we've said playoffs minimum, and I think we had a taste of it last year, and I'll be honest, we did let ourselves down massively. As good as Abbey Alton were, and I'll take nothing away from them, we let ourselves down in the playoffs, and it probably come a year too early for us, but we've got no excuse this year, and we want to be right in there.
Yeah, just going a little bit off on a tangent there. You had one of our former players, Jack Grimshaw, playing for you in your team, didn't you, this season?
Yeah, mate, great lad. It's just we had a. I'll be honest, we ended up completely rebuilding the side, obviously, because of how well we did last year. A lot of players went and played high. Have gone and played higher, gone earn a lot more money, which I can't fault, and I'll never stand in the way. So we had a bit of a rebuild in the summer and brought Jack in. He found himself in it. He's a great lad, great attitude. He's just moved to Wolverhampton Casuals. Yeah, top lad, mate. He's just the position he plays, the shape we play now, just didn't quite suit him. So he got a little bit frustrated and a little bit disappointed. So he's moved on, but he's gone with our best wishes, mate. He's a great lad.
Yeah, definitely. So listen, this season's looking really promising. With only 2 losses against Stafford at the start of the season and New Mills at the end of August. I suppose drawing against Ormond and Wolverhampton Sporting Community was more disappointing than the defeats.
Yeah, weird ones really. So you look at the 2 games we've lost. The Stafford one, we were such a new team. We hadn't had a long enough pre-season really, with considering the rebuild we had. I think we had 6 players left from last season, so he felt a bit at the wrong time. We missed a penalty at 1-0. I figured that goes on with the Nick Summit. And then New Mills away, it was just 2 individual errors. It was one of them days. But the Ormond away was a strange one really, because and it's an easy thing to say, but they're a better side in the league table. Says really, they're really good going forward. They're not great defensively, and again, I don't think they'll mind me saying stuff like that, but we were 2-0 down in that game, went 3-2 down, and then equalised last minute, so at least we took something positive out of the game in terms of character. The Wolves Sporting one was their manager's first game in charge, and not make excuses, but you know the old one in football, the new manager bounce, and they ran through a brick. It's the classic, isn't it? They ran through a brick wall for him, and yeah, they equalised last minute against us, so it was points thrown away that afternoon, but you just have to, I always say when you drop points against the teams down the bottom, you have to go beat the teams at the top and make up for it.
Yeah, you definitely do. How difficult was it having to rebuild so much of your squad that had departed? And would you have been a bit more understanding had you not been sitting in second because at this time because of the rebuild?
Oh yeah, I think it's disappointing because we stood on the pitch at Albion after we lost in the playoffs, and I said I think as a group you owe it to the club to give them one more year because you let them down today. Obviously, again, money talks, people move on, and luckily nobody moves sideways, which I can't. You have to take some personal credit that you've seen lads go higher.
Yeah.
And somehow, I don't know how we've done it, we've ended up with a better side. The side we've got this season would beat last year's team. It's just obviously we've had to get it to gel, and it's gelled so much quicker than we ever thought it would. And I think this time round we've got that little bit more experience, a little bit more know-how in the group. So in the end, everything happens for a reason. Like I say, we've somehow come back with a better group. So yeah, I'm not surprised where we are. I just didn't think it'd happen this quick.
No, I suppose not. How did you get new lads to kind of buy into Eccleshall and buy into Liam Kelly?
It's a good question. I think I've got really proud ethos I have in terms of management. I'm a big believer you're at this level for a reason, so you make sure you work harder than everyone, you want it more than everyone, and I won't just, as much as we're having a rebuild, I wouldn't just sign any player. We kind of obviously identified the areas we needed to improve and strengthen, and we made sure we got the right type of lad in. So there was some training sessions in pre-season, we had 9-10 lads, and I kept saying to one of my assistants, Nathan, who does a lot of the recruitment, I said, I don't want to bring any old player in. I said, I'd rather quality and the right lad over quantity. And slowly but steady, and because of how well we did last year, the reputation's got out there, and I think it does help being younger sometimes because you can get on the level with the lads. And I'm lucky, I've always seemed to have earned people's respect, but I'm pretty no nonsense, and I do give everyone gets one chance from me, and that you don't get a second kind of thing. And if you do buy into it, I've always said I'll run through a brick wall for you if you run through a brick wall for me, and we have landed on them type of lads this year. The club's a great club. I can't speak highly enough, and I always say everyone says their volunteers are the best, and you can't thank them enough, but I genuinely believe our volunteers are the best. We've got a great facility. I'm not sure if you've ever been down.
No, I was going to ask the question really there in terms of financing the football club, because you've hit upon it there that players going for more money, and hopefully, like you say, there's a progression and they go further up the ladder. But how are you fixed financially to take the club further up? Because it's a lot harder. We talked about it even at our level when we were in the North West Counties Division One North. There was players on £350-400 a week. That was more than a lot of clubs' weekly budgets. So how does it cope? How does the club fare in terms of finances?
Well, you're definitely bang on about the money, because I think that's why the league's improved so much, because there's players playing at our level who would never have looked at it twice, but the money that's getting offered is ridiculous. And when you're talking about people buying into it, I think that helps that we we haven't got a huge budget. We do okay. We pay decent expense money, but you're not coming to Eccleshall for a payday, and I make that clear from day one. So that drives away anyone who's playing for one, money, or two's got an ego chip on the shoulder. So it does us a favour. The club are working so hard behind the scenes to grow it. We've got more youth teams than we've ever had. We've got a really successful reserve side who are top of their league and the Staffs County League. So we are bringing as much money in as we can. We're getting more sponsors on board because we're doing so well. But yeah, like I say, I think we're in a position to go up. I do think we compete as well. I think we have to keep this group together. That would be the big thing, really.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, you've got Runcorn Town this Saturday. You drew with them earlier on in the season, despite leading the game 2-0 at half-time. So you could effectively reduce the gap to just 3 points if you beat them, and you still got a game in hand. How confident are you after that initial encounter, and how important is this upcoming match?
I'm confident for two reasons. One, we're a much better side than when we faced them last time. We've signed a couple of extra bodies since then. Obviously, we've had a little bit more time together. And two, if I'm honest, we threw it away. They didn't really get themselves back in the game. We threw it away. We were playing a certain shape. Ben Marshall, I mean, he's an ex-pro. He's one hell of a player for our level. He had to come off of a calf injury, and he just deflated us a little bit just as they were getting on top. And we had to change the shape. And they scored two scrappy goals. Really, and they're a top side. I do still think they are probably on paper the best side in the league. So, but we're going there to try to win the game. I've just left training, and we've had a great session, and the lads are absolutely chomping at the bit. I do generally believe teams will be more worried about playing us at the minute than we are worried about them. And with 13 or 12 unbeaten in the league, I mean, nobody will want to play us at the minute. So, yeah, we're confident, but we know. I've said to the lads, you know how big a game this is. It is possibly season defining.
Yeah,
it will be.
Listen, you've got two fantastic players there in real good goal-scoring form as well, Jacob Vernon and Daniel Glover. So you're hoping they'll keep that going into the game against Runcorn?
Yeah, Vern's got no right to score the goals he does. He's never been a goal scorer, lad, so don't be bigging him up too much.
No. but he scored a few years late, yeah.
Yeah, he has his chipping in, mate. But Danny shouldn't be anywhere near playing at our level. He's kind of done it as a bit of a personal favour to me and one of my assistants because we've known him a while. And he's a class act. He scored goals at step 3 and 4 all his life. And that you go back to that last Runcorn game and that Horman game we drew. Danny had only just come in and he'd not been able to do any pre-season because he broke his foot for Chase Town. And we've got the two best strikers in the league, in my opinion, with Danny and Nicky Parker, and they're a real handful. And we found a way to play him together, which we couldn't do at the start. And yeah, Danny's in that kind of form as a number 9. He gets half a chance. He's scoring in a minute. I think he scored 13 and 8. He's on fire. If I'm honest, I do think he should have won the League Player of the Month, but he knows how good he is, and we know how good he is, and he is carrying us a little bit at times.
It can happen.
Does.
Looking at the form table then, yourselves and Runcorn kind of hold the leading positions. It's worth noting that alongside your prowess in front of goal, you've got some serious defensive solidity there. Is it more important for you as a manager, and I suppose as part of your ethos, that you have a more structurally sound defence or a more attacking capability?
Oh, anyone who's ever played for me will tell you this is unheard of. My team's like free scoring. I'm big on hard to beat. I'm from the Tony Pulis school, I think, of football. I'm a Stoke fan. We've always had one of the better defences. I think we might have the second best defence in the league. So our Achilles heel has always been scoring goals, and I've been jokingly known as a number 9 killer. But this time also we've got the balance right. But yeah, it's the credit to the coaching staff, not just me. The coaching staff have worked so hard this time. When you go back to buying into it, I think you can be a great defensive side if people buy into what you want to do. Everyone knows the roles, and that's not just the back four and the goalkeeper. That's front to back. Everybody in the team knows the roles at the minute, and I do prefer being hard to beat. I'm a big believer if you don't concede, you can't lose. But yeah, it does out when you're scoring 3 or 4 a game at the minute.
It does. So going on to you personally, you've reached a milestone of 150 matches in charge by the end of September, which I think is a record for the longest serving manager in Division One South. What have across your 150 matches? What have been the standout moments for you, and how eager are you to reach that 200 match mark?
Standout moments. We've had some great Derby Day. We've always had a great rivalry with Abbey Alton and Foley Mere. It's just not personal vendettas or anything like that. Local sides, bit of needle, how it should be, and we've always seemed to come out on top. I think we beat Abbey Alton 8 times out of 10. I think we beat Foley 3 out of 4. We've had some great derby matches with Brockton when they were in the league. I've always really enjoyed that. One of them where you've had a great battle and then you're having a beer in the clubhouse after. I'm big on stuff like that. We've beat Port Vale twice in the Staff Senior Cup. One of them we won 1-0 on penalties where my goalkeeper saved all 5 of their penalties. That was madness. Isle of Man away, that was a great trip. And we were devastated when they got promoted. Yeah. There's been and obviously get the game beating Shield Nomads away last year to get in the playoffs. I do always think that was a special day, but it was also, I always say, looking back, we celebrated that too much, and it was like a season finish that day. So, yeah, I want to get to 200 games, but I want to do it by getting promoted.
Yeah, and you talk about teams that you've beaten there. Obviously, you were beaten by Abbey Alton in the playoffs, but you managed to sort of regain some kind of revenge this season. Was it the Staffordshire Cup? You beat them 3-0?
Yeah, and they played a full side, and so did we. And to be honest, again, 3-0 flattered them. We absolutely controlled the game. We could have been 6 or 7 at half time. And I'm good mates with Bowie, the Abbey manager. He's a top lad, top manager. And he wouldn't disagree how much we controlled the game. So it does show that we'd compete with them sides in the league above. We've got Hanley Town in the next round who are in the Midland Prem, and I do genuinely believe we'd hold our own with this team. And I think the North West Counties is a much better standard than the Midland League. I do believe it. So it just shows we would compete in that top end. When you go back to are we ready for it, I don't think it's just about being financially ready. I think it's if you've right mentality and if you do generally believe you deserve to be in there.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
Yeah, but it's all about keeping an established team, isn't it? And you know, building on what you've done last season. You've made a lot of changes, but you've managed to become a better team through it. I mean, that's incredible in itself.
That's an achievement.
Well, there's a big thing at the minute, which I don't think our lads get enough credit. My striker, Nicky Parker, he's had 6-7 day approaches already by November. Danny Glover's been offered a manager's player role. Jordan Flatley's had 2 or 3 offers. The 7 I've never known it like this. And considering we don't pay big money, like I say, no one's here for a payday. By the time people have drove to Eccleshall and your away games, nobody's making a penny out of us. And lads are staying for the reasons. I can't give them enough credit. Everyone keeps saying how well we're doing, but the lads' loyalty has been unbelievable. And that's when you ask me about groups, this is the best group because it's the most loyal. And I can't fault. I've got lads dropping down 2 levels, playing for us, joining from Newcastle Town and Kids Groves, and it's an absolute credit to them. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah,
it's clear it's a very, very competitive area where you're playing your football. Who's your local competition other than Abbey Alton?
Geographically, probably Stafford Town, but a lot of us, so basically Eccleshall's more, in Staffordshire, it's more Stafford way, whereas myself, the management team, we're more Stoke-on-Trent based. So for us, the Derby days were always your Abbey Altons and your Foleys, whereas really, geographically, it is your Wolverhampton and your Stafford teams. To be fair to Stafford, they have been a bogey side for us, and we've always had close games with them, and they just seem to edge it against us. So probably on paper, it is them. But I think that I've just over the years, I've just learned as a manager, try and get on with everyone because you don't know when you'll need a favour. So I've just always said to lads, go about the business quietly this year and let's just not have any rivals. Let's not have any games where we're somebody's cup final because the dying beat is just go about the business like nice and quietly.
It's a reasonable way of doing it.
It's taken a long time to learn that, let me tell you.
Yeah. Listen, talking about your facilities where you play your home games, is it a 3G pitch or is it grass? What is it?
Grass it is one of the better pitches in the league. I mean, obviously we were called off last week, but we don't get many games called off. Yeah, we've got 2 kids pitches, both great facilities. We've just had the changing rooms all done up. We just had a new kitchen, which you might see on the league website. The facility's top class. To be honest, it's not probably far off being a step full facility. And when we do travel to some grounds, I do say to the lads, you don't realise how lucky you've got it here at Eccleshall. The little things like the after game food and things like that, you don't realise how good they've got it. And again, that is a selling point for the club. We've got a mini bus for away games. Not many people have that option. It's a massive selling point. It does help.
Yeah, it does. How much of that kind of drive to be a better facility overall can you attribute to Neil Washington, the chair? And what's your relationship like with Neil?
Oh, we have a few spats, but it's like he's like having a dad. It's like having another dad, honestly. He's a top bloke. I won't have a bad word said about him. And I know, again, I've said it, everyone goes on about how much work people do down the thing. I think he's 80 years old, Neil. I hope I haven't got that wrong. But he is down that club Monday to Saturday. He rings me 2-3 times a week. And winning that Club of the Month award the other day, and I see his reaction, that makes it worthwhile for me. I don't manage a team for my own personal accolades. I generally don't. I like giving a bit back to people like Neil, and he was the first manager at this, first chairman at this level to take a punt on me. So I'll always be grateful, and that's why I do want to get him over the line and get him promoted, because they've always been underdogs at Eccleshall and like been in the shadows a little bit. And to see the committee believing in it a little bit, and when I come through the door, once we stayed up that first year, I said, you've got to start believing you can go somewhere. So they're getting the rewards now, and that makes it so worthwhile. And the lads know that as well. The lads all love the committee. They come every game. They love it. He's a top bloke, Neil. And there's plenty of other people on the committee.
Well, I've noticed that you've got probably the biggest committee I've ever come across.
And I think they all just want getting games for free, to be honest.
It's got to be 20 strong, hasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I say, it's little things like tonight. We train next to the reserve side, and our first team lads all know the reserve lads now. I get on great with their manager, and it is a proper family club. And again, I know everybody says that, but it really is at Eccleshall. Like, the whole club are buzzing when we've won Club of the Month. You know, we've had the kids' teams be mascots. I'm a big believer that's what non-league football is about. The more people you get involved, the better. And I do love the club. I can't say enough good things about them.
Listen, the results are great, but it's got to be fun as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I say that to lads. Like, everyone enjoys winning, don't you? But I always say to lads, and I've said it before a few big games over the years, you don't have long in football, and when you're older, you might bump into your teammates, and you don't remember the results as such. You'll remember all the good times, so you have to create as many of them as you can. Yeah,
most definitely. In terms of training facilities, is it difficult to acquire those? We hear about a lot of clubs struggling to get a venue for training. Is that the same for you down that neck of the woods?
Well, I think the demand in the area, they're slowly popping up, but I'm very, very lucky. My brother's a manager of a 4G facility at high school, so we're blessed, luckily. Yeah. So, but it's great because we're on there with the reserves. We've got the whole pitch. Us and the reserves train at the same time, so there's a pathway to be seen for the reserves. And we've had a few of their lads train with us, and a couple of our lads about them, so it's great. But yeah, there isn't enough facilities in our areas, to be honest. And we've done it. When we first come in the club, before my brother had that role, we were training on like a third of a 4G pitch with 18 lads, and you just can't do anything. So, yeah, little things like that definitely help.
Yeah, listen, I had a good feeling anyway before I first spoke to you when I was doing a bit of research. You've already mentioned it, that you're a barber. Who cuts your hair?
You know how many times I get asked that a week?
I know, yeah, but I thought I'd ask anyway.
3 lads work with me, mate. So I've had it cut today because we were having the Christmas night out Saturday. So
I've seen your mullet. I've seen the picture. You've got a really good hair, do you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm one of them though, mate. You have to keep it changing it, don't you, when you're a barber?
Yeah. Well, I mean, AJ's recently had his haircut. Explain your haircut.
My haircut is it's a bit of a Jack Grealish kind of curtains assembly at the minute. I think that's just naturally how it falls. But other than that, it was
you went from a Jesus Christ haircut.
I had like really really long hair, so basically like a girl's hair, and then I went to curtains instead. If you imagine the 2 leading stars of Titanic, I went from a Kate Winslet cut to a Leo DiCaprio look in about an hour.
Yeah. Very midlife crisis.
Listen, if you've done your research,
I'm younger than you.
he's only 30.
I'm 30.
Yeah.
God, that's not happening.
Exactly.
And listen, for context here, if you've done your homework, you'll already know that I'm bald.
I've seen you on your WhatsApp picture. Yeah, you'll know your story.
Well, I keep telling the story and I don't mind repeating it, but I went on a podcast last year and I ended up, it was in a dress, it turned out to be a barber's, and I was sat in the barber's chair getting interviewed while people were walking past and thinking, what the hell is a bald man doing sat in a barber's
no
chair?
Good for business.
I know, yeah. Incredible.
Wasn't ideal. Just going back to you and your squad, Liam, you mentioned just a minute ago that you've had your hair done for the Christmas night out. How big and important is kind of squad unity and togetherness and having these social events to try and build a relationship?
I'll die on the shield of it's the biggest thing, mate. We've got 16 lads going Saturday, so that shows you how good a tight-knit group we've got, We've had a couple of curry nights, and which, again, they can work in good ways because we've obviously got the local curry house sponsoring us now. They sponsor all the training kit.
Amazing.
You build up relations in that sense, and then, it just does you the world of good, I think. I always say to lads, you don't have to come all night, come and show your face, but no excuse. Obviously, we do the traditional fine kitty, which is always good. They do it in the clubhouse before the game, raise a few funds. And it's just, I'm a big believer in you win things off the pitch before you win them on the pitch. You just don't matter how good. That's a big thing in our league. I see a lot of clubs, and I'm not going to name them, but every year they make the same mistake of just signing big names and lads on silly money, and they don't care about the club they're playing for. They don't care about the lads stood next to him or sat next to him in the changing room. You've got to have a group of mates who'll run through a brick wall for each other. The lads on the coaching staff are some of my best mates. So obviously, we love working with each other, and I think the way we bounce off each other bounces off back to the lads. I mean, they've got the utmost respect for me with the lads, and I always say to them, I'm more than happy to come out and have a beer with you. I'm the first one want a beer with the lads, but come and earn it with me, kind of thing. I've said that to him Saturday. How good will that night out be if we go and beat Runcorn and we're 3 points off top Christmas Day?
So that's a good way to get the momentum there. You talk about big names and big egos, but you've got Ben Marshall in your squad. A former pro, been at Rovers, been at Norwich City. What is he like? Down at this level, personally and professionally.
Mate, he jokingly says every single week, if it had been this professional when I was playing pro, I'd be a Premier League player. Because honestly, mate, he doesn't miss a training session. He comes watch the games when he's been injured. He was suspended for 5 bookings a few weeks ago, and he still trained on the Thursday. We send him on runs on a Tuesday. He does every single one. His attitude is unbelievable. And do not get me wrong, he is a big, big character. He's a top lad, and he's a class player. He's not as fit as he once was, and again, he won't mind me saying that, but
how old is he now?
He's only 35, I think.
Oh, right.
And he can still move, and he's got an absolute wand of a right. You don't play 350 championship games, do you, if you haven't got ability? But his attitude, and I did say to him when he come through the door, I said, I can't just play you because you're Ben Marshall. You've got to earn the lads' respect. And I think the way he's conducted himself, I think the lads absolutely love him. But he is a class act. But it's little things, without getting into too much detail, one of the lads has been really struggling with an injury and hasn't teamed himself. He was doing really well at the end of the season. And Marsh has gone out his way to ring this lad and check in on him. And I just think he's played all them games in the Championship. He doesn't have to do that. He could literally turn up on a Saturday and not give a damn kind of thing. And he's the absolute opposite. He loves it.
That's shown a bit of class, and it also shows that how much it means to individuals even at this level. It doesn't matter which level of football you're at. If you're injured and you're not figuring, and you're in rehab or whatever, it's a long road back sometimes from injury.
Yeah, I think when you go back to about things like teams night out and lads enjoying it, I think there's your perfect example. Marshy's far out of love with the pro game. I think he played for Darwin, was it, for a little bit, and then started just playing Sunday League, which I don't think he could stand that. He said that was too poor. But, he's got the love back for it, and he's there every week. So we beat Barton away, and then we play Ormond at home, and we played unbelievable at Barton, probably one of our best performances. And I had to pull him and say, listen, I can't start you. And he's like, yeah, you don't have to explain to me, kind of thing. He just says that's football. And when you've got someone like him buying into it, but to be honest, if you didn't know he'd been a pro, you wouldn't know he'd been a pro. Bar his ability as a person, you would not know. He's actually quite embarrassed about it, if anything. He doesn't shout it from the rooftops. He's just not that type at all. And yeah, there's no ego at all with him. What a great lad. Yeah.
Listen, away from football, we know football management's very, very stressful job at the best of times. How do you cope? What do you do to relax away from football?
I don't think I've relaxed for 33 years, mate. I love me running. That's like my little time on my own. Because obviously with my job, it's non-stop talking, and football, you know how it is. You don't come off the phone, and you don't. I think I'm a business owner, and you probably switch off. I switch off more from my business than I do football management. It's non-stop. But yeah, I love the gym. I love running. I've got my little boy, so I do as much as I can with him. I'm big into my indie music, so I like my gigs and stuff. So yeah, typical 33-year-old lad stuff, really.
Yeah, nice one. Good. Listen, just a few questions to finish. Sort of rapid fire questions, if you like. Worst thing about football?
Worst thing about football? Money.
Money. Totally agree with you there. Best thing about football?
Team nights out.
Team nights out. What rule would you change?
That 6-second goalkeeper rule.
Is it 6 or is it 8? Is it 8?
I think it seems to be 6 in our league. They make it. It's been 10, 8 and 6 this season.
Yeah. Well, listen, we talk about it often on the show. We think sometimes rules are made there to hinder rather than help, but that's another show, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I do get on referees every now and then. But I do actually always feel sorry for them because we've done the whole of pre-season. We've not once done that 8-second rule. In the first game of the season at Stafford, the ref mentions it, so we haven't practiced it. So the keepers are fretting. Everyone's on the ref's back. I do actually really feel sorry for them.
Have you seen the sin bin in this season? Because we think it's just pretty much getting phased out. We've not seen anybody issued with the sin bin in.
No, we've had one player, not us, another team. And you know what? I was about to say that. Just the 8-second rule, they'll get bored of it in about 3 months, like every other new rule that comes in. Remember, that was another one where you have to have the same colour tape on your socks and stuff. It's like there's bigger things going on in football than that. Just move on.
Yeah, bizarre. Listen, I could talk about referees and rules forever in the day, but I'll only get myself into more trouble. But listen, what are the non-negotiables if you want to play for Liam Kelly? I think you hit upon it a little bit before.
You play for the badge on the front, not the name. Well, obviously don't have names on the back, but you know the one. Play for the badge on the front, not the name on the back. Attitude for me. Yeah.
Most definitely. Listen, if you could manage any other club in the non-league pyramid, and I'm saying non-league pyramid, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. Honestly, I generally don't know if I'd ever go anywhere else other than Eccleshall, but I would love a crack one day, maybe one of the big local clubs like a Stafford Rangers or someone like that, where you could where the ceiling's as high as you want it to be, kind of thing. Something like that would be brilliant, like a Macclesfield or a Stafford Rangers kind of thing, where you really can have a good go at like an FA Cup or something like that.
Yeah, so listen, you've obviously said you want to stay there for as long as you can at Eccleshall. So what's the ambition now moving forward? Have you got like a 3-5 year plan?
If I'm genuinely now, and this isn't me being football manager cliche, I am just taking it game by game because of the position we're in. But obviously, you do all realistic. I want to be managing in step 5 next year. If I'm honest, at the end of last season, I did have a big think to myself about possibly having a breather just with my family commitments and my work commitments. And Nathan, one of my assistants, was like, we've got unfinished business, give it one last go. And to be honest, the lads we've got now, they've reignited the fire a little bit for me. So I do want to take him step 5. I genuinely think we could have a right good go if we did get out. I think this league is harder to get out of than the one above. I think the North West counties are so competitive. The fact that only 2 teams go, I don't think you should come second. Like Stafford Town last year, come second, and they were brilliant all season, and they miss out on promotion. It's not right. So, yeah, obviously take it game by game, but next year we want to be in that step 5 for definite.
And if you do get to the step 5, which division do you want to be in? The Midland Premier or the North West Counties Premier?
Definitely the Midland Premier. That's no disrespect to that league. It's obviously still a good standard of football, but I'll look at some of the teams in that league, and I think we're levels above them, and that's not me. I never want to shout from the rooftops about how good we are, but I do think we would at least come at the top end of mid-table. Broughton proved that. They won our league, and they were a great side. I love Alex, who's the manager. They're a great side, but we beat them 3 times the year they went up in the league, and we weren't as good a side as now, and the year after they went and won the league. You know, we beat Abbey Alton twice last year. They've gone up and they're in the playoffs. We've beaten them this year, so we've shown. The North West Counties Premier is a ridiculous standard. I do think financially, we'd struggle in that league because some of the money you're getting spent is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But listen, It's been fantastic having you on the show. We wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Pretty sure if you don't win the title outright, you'll definitely win in the playoffs. So listen, good luck for the rest of the season, Liam. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cheers for having us, gents. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, take care, Liam. Cheers. Bye now.
Cheers, guys.
Bye now. A heartfelt shout out to all the businesses supporting Skelmersdale United Football Club, especially T&W Garners and Pedro de Seda Enterprises. Thank you to everyone who donates to the club, supports our race nights, raffles, lottery bonus ball scheme and the weekly draw in conjunction with NYCBA. A special thanks to those who organise such fundraising events, with a particular mention for the incredible Lee Davis and Rowena Hughes. To everyone who stands by us both on and off the pitch, we are truly grateful. If you wish to sponsor the show, please contact me at chairman.skemutdfc@gmail.com or alternatively call me on 077 66054 548. All proceeds will go to Skelmersdale United Football Club. Thank you for your unwavering support. Hello and welcome to the third and final part of the Speaking Frankly football show. And thanks once again to Liam Kelly, the manager of Eccleshall, for a really, really good interview there.
Yeah, really insightful into a career, or at least a bit of a trajectory in the last handful of months that on paper looks to have come from absolutely nowhere, but when you kind of dig a little bit further, you realise kind of how much work is being put into that.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And we wish him all the best of luck with the rest of the season.
Yeah, we certainly do. So looking into the... well, we're going to talk about Skelmersdale United. We normally start the third part of the show before we go to our predictions and expert analysis. So we were at that last week's game at... Sefton. Against Sefton, we played them 3 times now after Saturday's game. We've been beaten 3 times.
Yes.
But...
This was a very, very positive performance. Although we lost 3-1, we had 12 players, two of which were goalkeepers. All right, so our solitary substitute was indeed a goalkeeper and made an appearance outfield for us, caused absolute mayhem and got himself booked. So well played, Bobcat.
Yeah. So it was a pretty much scratch team because we had about 8 players out through injuries and work reasons. So we knew it was going to be a struggle on the day, but we thought it would be far worse than it actually was.
Very much
so. Really, really good shift in.
Yeah, they did. So we started off under the cosh a little bit. We kind of had to ride our luck.
That's another podcast. Just give them
under the cosh, yeah. And then Sefton took the lead after 20 to 25 minutes. A goal that was probably preventable in some corners, but in others it was actually quite a smart move. And then they doubled that lead shortly afterwards as well. So we were behind 2-0 at the break. It could have been 2-1, but Tom Broadfoot's header drew an excellent save from the Sefton keeper. But there were moments within that first half where you thought that maybe we might cause them a few more problems. Anyway, Sefton scored a third goal early on in the second half, and it looked very much like game over. But Connor Johnston got us back on the scoreline. Our first goal against Sefton as well. A really well taken goal, pouncing on a mistake from the keeper. And then Cam O'Neill has a one-on-one which is saved and put behind for a corner. And then I think it was Tom again who gets on the end of a low cross from Connor, who had a stunning game, draws a block on the line. Between all of those chances, we could have won that game or at least drawn it. So there was a lot...
far better in the second half. In fact, we could arguably say we're the better team.
Yes, I think that's absolutely correct. After they scored their third goal, they seemed to switch off quite substantially, and that let us back into the game. And with a squad that was kind of pulled together as it was, they put on a really good show for themselves and show that we can actually just stand toe to toe with anybody. on our day, and even with so many extenuating circumstances against us.
A difficult job for Cam. Up front on his own.
Yes.
It was never going to be a productive day for him, really, but he did extremely well considering.
Yeah, very much so.
In many ways, played the perfect foil for Connor Johnston, because I don't think people expected, or certainly Sefton expected, him to be as explosive as he was.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, this lad has played 1.5 games for us, only just come back after a bit of an injury as well.
He played for us against Nalgo, didn't he? And he put a very good shift in.
That's correct. He played for us against Nalgo, had a bit of a turnout against Apollo, and then that was all we'd seen of him so far. So he made really good a really good show for himself. In the centre of midfield there, and actually his pushing up from a central position actually allowed Cam to have alternative options rather than just looking to Brandon Carrington and Tom Broadfoot on the wings. So actually it just gave him another outlet, and probably our most productive one.
Still masters of our own downfall in many ways. 3 goals that could have been avoided.
Certainly,
should have been avoided.
The third one was entirely preventable. I mean, we had 4 defenders around that ball that Sefton managed to break onto and score. It should have been cleared at first man, really. As for the first 2 goals, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really, as to whether we could have prevented those goals. I think it probably just goes to show how good Sefton can be, that they were able to put those chances away, and they did enough to hold on and win that game. But I think we've probably caused them more problems than we have done in the previous 2 games. So once again, a really good show of ourselves, and a further blow, at the start that we had to get over when Reece Carrington had to withdraw from the squad due to injury as well.
Yeah, just before the game.
Deeply disappointing. But there was not a single player in our team that had a bad performance. No. I think they all made a really good account for themselves.
And after the bad performance by the referee in the previous week's game, we highlighted in last week's show, we had a really, really good referee this week.
An excellent referee there. I'm trying to find his name, because if I don't know if anybody from the Liverpool FA listens to the show, but if they do, I wanted to give him a shout out. I'll just try and...
My only problem with him, and I did raise the question at the end of the game, and I did say to him, am I okay to ask you for a question? Asking a question which raised a few eyebrows, really. But it was when the referee came over and remonstrated with... There was a group of people, including you and I.
Yeah.
There seemed to be a couple of players remonstrating with the referee on the pitch and pointing fingers over at us.
Yeah.
I still don't understand to this moment what was going on, and whether it was in his remit to come over and talk to us. His slant on it is, at step 7, I can.
Yeah.
I thought, really speaking, you should leave that to an official of the football club to speak to the crowd. But then,
maybe.
I mean, did he actually hear what was going on?
I think
he said there was a bit of swearing.
I think he had a bit of an idea. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if any of us swore. I mean, we probably did. We were. There was a group of us that were,
I know I didn't swear because I'm on a
charge.
Yeah, no, but not just because I'm on a charge, but I've decided now that I'm not going to let people dictate my behaviour.
Okay.
So I've calmed down again.
You're in the wrong spot for that.
I've done something which I'm returning to, which I returned to many, many moons ago, when I felt, and back in the day, I felt as my first tenure as chairman or director of football, whatever, director of whatever it was at what stage when I was at Skemp first time round, I felt as though the North West Counties and the officiating down there was poor at that time. I've obviously seen a lot more of the North West Counties now and agree that the level of officiating at that level is far superior. But it raises the question, do level 4 referees want to referee at step 7? I don't believe they do. And I think that's part of the problem. I think they know what to expect. They know that they're going to be bullied. They know that they're going to be hounded. And I don't think it's not as lucrative. I'm not saying that you get a great amount of money, but I think you get more in the Northwest Counties or the Northern Premier than you do if you're officiating at Step 7. But I definitely believe there's a snobbery attached to refereeing at Step 7, and I think sometimes that comes across in referees. But yeah, going back to the point we mentioned, we'll always point out the fact that when we've had a really good referee, then it's newsworthy as it was. But just that question of whether a referee should be remonstrating with the supporters and then telling us all to shut up. I'm a 58-year-old man. I don't really need to be told to shut up. I was having a bit of fun. I just said, calm down, you win in the game. That's all I said. Didn't swear whatsoever.
No, but I think there were points where it could have bubbled over into something a bit more serious, and then the referee's got an entirely different problem on his hands.
But is it? Yeah, but does he? It's banter.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, it was banter from our end, but did you see how worked up the Sefton players were getting?
The Sefton captain seemed to have a real issue.
Yes,
with his
real
behaviour.
issues. Yes.
Real issues, and he needs to address them, because if that carries on, he certainly won't play any higher than he is with that kind of behaviour.
No, you're absolutely right.
If you're gonna dish it out, you have to take it.
Yeah, that's true. Like I say, I think.
I mean, if we talk about, was it the number 2, the small lad with the curly hair? We sort of remonstrated with him, but it was very much smiley, happy-faced stuff, wasn't it? It didn't seem to be aggressive to me until somebody suggested I'll snap you in half.
Yeah.
And I think that was funny, because I don't think it was meant. It certainly wasn't meant.
No.
It was, who are you?
There'd been a bit of a fallout between him and one of our fans, and I don't know if it just got a little bit overheated and Sefton.
And I did promise to text that particular person and say, why did you leave 5 minutes before the end? So I'd cop it because I was the only other bloke there.
Yeah, that's just something. But nonetheless, I think the referee does have a bit of a responsibility at that point to try and lower the heat.
I don't think he does. I don't think. I think he's treading a very, very fine line. I don't think it's up to him to officiate crowds. He's there to do. If a game gets to a position where it needs to be abandoned, fair enough. But I don't think harsh words. I don't think coming over and shouting at supporters. And he literally did shout and said, "Shut up! Listen to me."
Because we were interrupting him. I think he wanted to get his words out first, and we were just.
But if you're gonna debate with someone, if you're gonna have a discussion with someone, if you're gonna come over and enter into dialogue, you've got to expect that there's going to be. There's going to be dialogue from the other side as well.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know.
I wasn't happy with it. Not because I think he was wrong, but more so because I felt as though if we had been that type of crowd that took exception to him to come over, then he could have put his own safety in jeopardy, and that was my worry. We're a diplomatic group of people. We were never going to enter into fisticuffs. The worst, maybe odd cursory word was either invented or used. I don't know, but what I'm saying to you is, I don't think that we're the type of people that are going to fall out with anyone. But if anybody had been there, we do know a lot of people, particularly in this league, that partake in a little bit of.
Unsavoury behaviour.
And smoking of the
fun stuff.
The fun stuff, yeah. Mm-hmm. And they probably, mind you, they'd probably be that spaced out that they couldn't fight their own shadow. But no. I'm just thinking more of his safety.
Maybe you're right, but anyway, I found his name. It was Khalid Wabi. So if you are listening, or any representative from the Liverpool County FA, Khalid Wabi had an absolutely outstanding game.
Yeah, you managed the game exceptionally well.
He did.
The only point we're pointing out now is the fact that we felt as though you could, under the wrong circumstances, end up
compromising your own safety.
So that's what we would
but otherwise not a complaint about your performance or your ability to handle the game diplomatically. Well done.
Yeah. So listen, we've got Halewood Apollo again.
an away day to Halewood
on
this
Saturday.
Yeah, we're expecting a bit more of a full complement this time around.
Yeah, there's been a few new signings as well.
A couple of new signings too. Yeah, I think one of them made himself known on Twitter. I think it was, is it James or Joe?
James Hale.
James Hale, that's the one. Who's a former...
I don't know a great deal about him. But...
he's a former Burnley youth player. He's played at the semi-pro level for about 3 years now, I think. So he's done some bits.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a few more signings there. There's the return of Peter Smith as well. Peter Smith has signed for us, so he will be back. Listen, it'd be just great to see his dad as well, because his dad's he's a smashing bloke, isn't he?
Brian, we love him.
We love him. Great sort of comedy moments in football matches where he talks. He's really funny. He's a really funny man.
He is.
Really good to talk to. So we look forward to seeing more of him as well.
Certainly do.
Next two games really, really important as we close before the Christmas break. So we've got now, like we say, Halewood Apollo on Saturday, which is tomorrow, and we've got MSP Walton Reserves on the 20th at the Marine Travel Arena. It's pretty... If we don't win them two games, you really struggle to see where we're going to get wins from.
This is true. We've struggled for kind of consistent results through the season, despite the best efforts of Andy and co. And it's difficult because I understand that we are building something here, and with any luck at all, we retain a lot of the players next season, even if we don't go up. But you'd want there to have some kind of gelling already. And
considering the limited amount of teams that are already in the Liverpool County Premier, it has been mooted about that. It's highly unlikely there's going to be any relegation. There's not enough teams to go up.
Yeah, which is advantageous for us considering we are still sitting bottom for now. With the chase is still very much on in terms of getting promotion, but nonetheless we need wins to come, and we need them to come quickly. That being said, we have played arguably the two most challenging teams in the league twice, the Grenadier and Sefton Athletic, with only East Villarreal in the top 5, the team that we haven't yet played. They're currently sitting in second. By the way, the Grenadier dropped points for the first time last week. That. Yeah.
Who did they draw to?
They drew to... Give me a minute, I'll find it.
Good. I'm just trying to find my fixture list. I'm sure I had a fixture list somewhere.
Silly boy.
But it seems to have disappeared.
They drew with Daysbrook.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, that was a shock in itself, because they're one of the teams, of course, that we've beaten so far.
Yes, indeed.
But it does make you wonder whether, in these circumstances, whether there's the odd team about, like we've mentioned before, that we've got a lot of players dual registered that are playing at other teams.
This is possible, yeah. We already know that the Grenadier had 1 or 2 players dual registered with teams. I know full well that their right winger, a lad called Luke Denton, is dual registered with South Liverpool. Hugely advantageous for the Grenadier to have him. In fact, I'd targeted it as someone who we might want for Scam last season, but didn't quite work out. Nonetheless, so a big game against Apollo for us at the weekend, one which I hope will draw a much more positive result, particularly if we have a competent referee.
Right, so let's move on to the fixtures
and predictions.
So we'll start off with the Premier Division, and there's 3 games on Friday night.
Friday night lights.
Friday night. So we're looking at Abbey Hay versus West Didsbury and Chorlton.
That's an away win.
It's going West Didsbury for me. Cheadletown versus Stockport Town.
Stockport Town.
Cheadletown, Stockport Town. Yeah, I'm going for a draw. Ramsbottom United versus Exton Villa. I think Ramsbottom are going to win that one. Return to winning ways. So we do have the game that was originally called off last Saturday, which is the FA Vase third round game between Winsford United and Prestwich Hayes. I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
I'm going for Winsford.
I can't remember what I went at the first time.
You went for Prestwich Hayes, I went for Winsford.
Right, so I'm consistent if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So we move on to the Premier Division on Saturday. Barnoldswick Town versus South Liverpool. Depends which South Liverpool you get. I'm going to go for Barnoldswick Town. Chadderton versus Glossop North End. I think this is an interesting one, but I don't know whether it comes too soon for Glossop. Glossop doing really well since Richard left, but it's difficult saying that because we felt as though there was a change. That they were
in
doing
the momentum.
In the momentum, but they just didn't hang on to it for long enough. But who do you see
I see that as being a Chadderton win, just because home advantage plays an awful lot for them. Glossop play on a grass pitch, Chadderton play on a plastic one, and with Chadderton's attack being stunted last weekend by Burscough, you would expect them to come full out and firing this time around. So home win for me.
Charnock Richard versus Burscough. I'm going to go for Burscough.
I'm also going to go for Burscough too. Unfortunately,
how important it is now for them to start winning games in the league.
Yes,
because it'll be a platform for them to build upon for next year, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's if this season isn't already beyond them. They have got a little bit of chasing to do to get in ahead of FC St Helens, Chadderton and Earlham if they're going to make it into the playoff spots. The wins need to start now, and I think Charnock Richard are one of those teams that are a bit Jekyll and Hyde. You can either get one or the other. For me, I think it will be the Hyde, and so Burscough should come across with the points.
Yes. City of Liverpool versus Padiham. Interesting one because Padiham sort of going further and further down in the form table.
Slightly.
I believe City of Liverpool, depending on what team they can put out on Saturday, they could push them.
Push them is one thing. Win, I don't see it happening. Padiham for me.
Going for Padiham as well. Earlham versus FC St Helens.
That is an amazing game by the two of the arguable in-form teams there. FC St Helens now 12 unbeaten in league and cup competitions.
And it gives them the opportunity to go, and they're already how many points ahead of 6, 8? They're 8 points ahead of Earlham now. They could go. It is 8, isn't it?
5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Am I looking at the wrong thing?
8 ahead of Burscough.
Oh, right. Sorry, 8. I'm looking at
5 ahead of it.
Yeah, 5. So they could go 8 ahead if they
could go 8 ahead. And they could draw level with West Didsbury and Chorlton.
I'm going for a draw.
I am also going to go for a draw. They both play on grass pitches. And so Earlham's home advantage won't count for as much as what it normally would do. And with FC St Helens kind of riding high, you would expect this to kind of go all the way.
Right, okay. Litherland Remica versus Longridge Town.
Longridge.
Yeah, I'm going for Longridge, although that could be one of the shock results of the weekend. Pilkington versus Everton LR. I think Everton LR will win that one.
Yeah, I want them to win that one, so I will say in a way win there. And then the late kick-off on Saturday night over at the Bowl, FC Isle of Man versus AFC Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going to go for AFC Liverpool, I think.
I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm also going to go AFC Liverpool there.
First Division North, AFC Blackpool versus Thornton Cleveland's. Nice bit, sort of Fylde Coast derby.
It is a Fylde Coast clash, yeah.
But Thornton Cleveland's are capable of making... shock, pulling off the shock results.
Yeah, making life difficult for
But
anybody.
I'm still going for AFC Blackpool.
I am going to go for Thornton Cleveland's.
Ashton Town versus Cone. I'm going for Ashton Town.
Ashton Town.
Daisy Hill versus Fullwood Amateurs. I'm going to go for Daisy Hill.
Draw.
Darwin versus Holker Old Boys.
Darwin.
I'm going to go for Holker Old Boys. Garstang versus Bacup Borough. I'm going to go for Bacup Borough.
Bacup Borough.
Main Road versus Squires Gate. I'm going for Main Road.
Squires Gate.
MSB Walton versus Ashton Athletic. MSB Walton.
MSB Walton.
And now this is a huge game. Nelson versus Droylsden.
On paper, it absolutely is. But if you look at Droylsden, their form kind of belies their position in the table. They're sitting 4th, but have only won half of their games. And although they did eventually put aside Forward Amateurs at the weekend, visiting Nelson is going to be in an altogether different prospect. And I see Nelson winning this at a bit more of a canter.
Yeah, I'll go along with you there. Nelson for the win.
Yes.
So the First Division South, Barnton versus New Mills. I'm going for Barnton.
I'm also going to go for Barnton.
Allscott Heath versus Sandbach United. I'm going for Sandbach.
I'm going to say a draw.
Alsager versus Foley Mere.
Foley Mere.
I'm going to go for a draw. Yeah, Asheville versus Stafford.
Away win.
Town. Yeah, you know what? I don't think that's a foregone conclusion, that one. But yeah, I'm going to go for Stafford Town as well. Ormond versus Telford Town. I'm going for Telford Town.
Mm-hmm.
Runcorn versus Eccleshall.
Top versus second.
I'm going for a draw. I'm playing it right in the middle.
Oh God. I think home advantage may just provide Runcorn with a bit of an edge, so I will say a home win there.
It'll certainly give us a better idea of where this championship winning team's coming from, won't we? One of how many teams now? We still reckon Stafford Town are there, even though
they're third, so they're still not out of the equation, but they've got 11 points to make up on Runcorn. They have got a game in hand, but they're going to need to be far more consistent, far quicker.
I think a lot of it just boils down to if Eccleshall beat Runcorn, they reduce the odds to 3, and they've still got a game in hand. The only thing that keeps Runcorn there is the goal difference, and they're scoring a hell of a lot of goals, aren't they?
51. They're easily the biggest scorers in the league.
Yeah. So okay, I'm going for the draw. But Stockport Georgians versus Camel Laird, I'm going for Stockport Georgians.
As am I.
Wolverhampton Casuals versus Market Drayton.
I want Market Drayton to win, and I think they are pulling a few results together. So, yeah, I will say Market Drayton
I'm going for Wolverhampton Casuals. Yeah, fine. I do want Market Drayton to win, but I just think they're starting to creep away from that bottom.
The bottom two,
the bottom positions.
Yeah,
and they've still got a fair few games in hand on a lot of teams ahead of them, so they could get further up that table. They certainly get into the top half. Before the turn of
Christmas.
Yeah, sort of Christmas come. January, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So listen, the Edward Chase, second chase, I've said it again.
You never learn.
For weeks I've been really, really good at this. Edward Case Cup, second round North, Daisy Hill versus Nelson. I don't really think any team will want to put out a full strength team.
No, they probably won't, but I think it's probably a bigger opportunity for Nelson to win some silverware than it is for Daisy Hill. And I can see Nelson more the opportunity to fight on all fronts. I'll say Nelson.
Yeah, listen, I'll go for Nelson. It would be interesting to see whether Angry Ginge pays a visit to the Ginge Power Stadium since he's been what's the word for it?
Crowned.
He's been crowned, yes. I was going to say awarded, but crowned is a better word. Crowned King of the Jungle. So Daisy Hill play at home on Saturday to Fullwood Amateurs, as we mentioned before. Be interesting to see whether he does pull his crown and his staff, or what it's called, and pop along to the Ginge Power Stadium. I think he's too busy now, do you?
Yeah. He will be. He'll have a deal with some kind of online brand or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so we move to the midweek games next week.
Tuesday
the 16th of December, the Premier Division, Atherton, Barnoldswick Town versus Atherton LR. Interesting fixture. Where do you see that one going?
So, Atherton LR, I think, got the edge on Barnoldswick in the last game at Crilly Park. The Silent Night Stadium, altogether a bit more difficult. With that in mind, I am going to say a draw.
I'm going Atherton LR. City of Liverpool versus Chadderton. Glossop North End versus AFC Liverpool. I'm going to go for Glossop. Padiham versus Charnock. I'm going to go for Padiham.
Yeah, I'll say Padiham. Only just, though.
Prestwich Hayes versus Abbey Hay. I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
Yeah, the Hay derby there.
Ramsbottom versus Pilkington. I'm going for Ramsbottom. Withenshaw versus Bearscough.
Huge game.
It's a huge game, and it's...
I still see it as a home win.
Yeah.
I just don't think anything's stopping this Wythenshawe momentum at the minute, despite the best efforts of Burscough.
Yeah, I hope Burscough win, but on the list we'll go for Wythenshawe. Tuesday, the same day, First Division North, Ashton Town versus Droylsden. I'm going for Droylsden. Cone versus AFC Blackpool. I'm going for AFC Blackpool.
Yeah, AFC Blackpool.
Division 1 South, Allscott Heath versus New Mills. I'm going for New Mills.
Draw.
Sandbach versus Stockport Georgians. I'm going for Stockport Georgians.
Sandbach.
Shawbury versus Telford.
Telford.
Wolverhampton Casuals versus Runcorn Town.
Runcorn Town.
Wednesday the 17th, the Premier Division, South Liverpool versus Cheadle Town.
Draw.
I'm going for South Liverpool. And then to round it off, First Division North, Nelson versus Fullwood Amateurs. I'm going for Nelson.
As am I. So they play 3 times in a week. To Nelson. They've got
well, they've got a lot of games to catch up on.
They have an awful lot of games to catch up on. So they've got Droylsden on Saturday the 13th, Daisy Hill on Monday the 15th, and then Fullwood Amateurs on Wednesday the 17th.
Yeah.
God, you'd be knackered.
Yeah, you most certainly would. So listen, we've come to that final part of the show.
Yeah.
Where we asked the question, what have we learned this week so far?
Well, there are good referees at our level, and I think they should be afforded that time and respect and space to be congratulated in the same way that we afford an awful lot of space to criticism of referees. So for this one, we've got to give the props to the referees when they do a good job. Yeah,
totally go along with that. And like I said, just learn to sort of control me anger a little bit, because it's been I've said it before, when you're involved with a football club on a day-to-day basis, really, and when you love the club and you're trying to protect its legacy, you everything bar kill for the football club. You know what I mean? You push that boat out in every way. But I think I did it years ago. I stopped doing it and I started again. Frustration had crept in, and I think I'm better off just taking it easy if I can. That might all change again.
If you can,
might all change again on Saturday. I mean, the whole idea of having these, the early morning breakfast, the subs club in Witherspoons was, to put everything into perspective and say, well, listen, we're a unit of people here. We're enjoying time together. Before a football match, because our social life is just as important as the football, and the two mingle together. I know now, because you tend to make a lot of friends through football, and so I'm going to try and chill.
All right, you crack on.
So listen, what really helps me to chill is leaving the final words to the dulcet tones of AJ.
You've been listening to the Speaking Frankly Football Show with me, AJ the Jet, and my co-host, Mr. Frank Hughes. This podcast is available on most streaming services, wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Amazon Music. Please rate and review, as we do thrive off hearing your feedback. Please also subscribe so that you can find out firsthand when a new episode of the show has been released. We are also available on social media sites, most prevalently X and Facebook, under the banner term Speaking Frankly Football Show. And so from me and Frank, we will see you next week for another episode of the show. Until then, bye-bye for now.